Move first.
All right.
We're not anywhere yet.
All right, good.
Are we all set, Alden? All right, thank you. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have 4 out of our 4 selectmen here right now. We're here for a budget workshop. And I guess, where do we want to start?
Oh, we got
I mean, we've got the road commissioner here. We might as well.
I was gonna say, got the road commissioner. Fire chief, let's just do that.
Go ahead. Make that roads, let's get over with.
So, do you want to give this, kind of go over the,
We might want to actually go over that.
Well, I gathered the data for this,
Sorry.
the bond project for Rapid Runaround, and Ruth put it into the spreadsheet for me today. So, looking at what it costs for our labor, taking all of our crew, dividing that by the average hourly rate, and my salary, each dump truck and the excavator. For the excavator, we took, what did we project that over 15 years?
10.
What we paid for the machine, what was it?
Excavator is over 20 years,
Okay, 15 to 20, somewhere in the.
because that's what our depreciation is on it.
Oh, you went by that, okay. Because that ain't how we financed it.
20 years is, assuming you keep the machine for that long, that would be, there's your dollar amount per,
Do we have fuel on any of these, so we're using them?
Yep.
it's
Yep.
on the, you can see it on
The one that looks
wide
like this?
spreadsheet.
Mike,
Oh, yeah.
the one that doesn't have the thing at the top is for the 2 dump trucks.
Oh, I see, yep.
And that's our actual number of gallons that we used, because Calvin keeps track of that.
so,
And just so I make sure I understood it correctly, the road commissioner cost here is actually basically your full salary and benefits for 7 months. You didn't prorate it at all for
It's just his salary.
just salary?
Yeah, because we didn't get to him to do all that with them.
Okay, but I mean, you didn't spend 100% of your time on this project for 7 months.
Right, you were on other.
So
Things,
if we calculated that down and added in benefits, we'd probably come in somewhere.
Close to a wash.
I just wanted to make sure where we were on that. And the labor does include the benefits and stuff.
So it looks like there was a significant savings by doing the
So, and
work ourselves.
just to note, on the Crooker only, that's calculating out at $100 a foot,
Right.
which is approximately what was paid for the Brown Road project. And
actually, it's exactly what they,
Yeah.
that project.
so that's where we came out with that number.
Right, and my recollection when we were first looking at doing runaround is that Crooker sent us estimates for both doing it all and doing it.
No, never saw any of that.
I thought we had
Right out of the
seen.
gate was us was to try to get it in that dollar amount that we needed to be at. So,
Yeah, I think that's how it ended up. I think there was some thrown out possible numbers here or there, but I think in the end, that's.
So good, at least we have that to answer some questions. Go on to the budget.
There's that. Okay, so it looks like about a $761,000 savings on that.
If the hot top stays the same.
Yeah.
That's the gamble.
The hot tub stays the same? Why
Yeah,
would
we
the
don't know what the
hot?
hot top price is 2017 yet.
But this has actually got a fair, the 2017 estimated has a fair amount of buffer on that, about a $40,000 buffer on it, so.
Because it's all petroleum based.
It's gonna get chewed right up in that
Yeah.
extra asphalt.
Calvin, how much was the savings again, please?
$759,680.
That's how
Estimate.
much we saved.
Estimate.
Right on the front page on the bottom box, too.
I don't have a bottom box.
All right, did I? Yes, I did.
Oh, wait a
You did.
minute.
One of us proposed it.
I found the bottom box.
$759,680. There's 2 bucks. There you go.
Okay,
Okay.
thank
All right.
you.
So,
But if asphalt goes up, that savings wouldn't change, because that's still how much we save. That's really relevant to, the price of asphalt goes up,
We pay it anyway.
Right, Crooker would charge,
that's gonna get charged,
right.
regardless, because they're all done with an escalator. So if the price of asphalt goes up, there's always some risk.
All right, so this new one here, this new proposed budget is with the changes that we put in last time.
So, we want
Did we didn't get the little, the overall budget sheet.
I printed it up now. I will get those for you.
I gave you yours, right?
I think I have it, yeah, Carol, thanks.
Oh, okay, an extra one, because Josh isn't here, that's why.
Thank you.
So in the green box, second to last page, I put the new equipment capital line. And existing note line.
I'm supposed to have one of them too.
We gotta give you more paperwork here, we're gonna get a bigger desk here. Alright, so let's, back off on that a
This is for
little
the
bit.
municipal, we're not on the
Calvin, you don't
municipal
really
right
need
now.
that one.
Well, Public Works is part of it. This is our overview.
Oh, okay, oh, all right. Oh, this is a new overview, all right.
Calvin, can I trouble you for the hole punch, please? Just so I can keep all these pages straight. Ooh, watch your fingers.
That's getting missing.
Alright,
That's not like a mousetrap.
which one we going on?
Okay, yeah, it doesn't matter to me, we'll go off whichever one and I'll just try to match them up.
All right,
So the only changes we had,
So,
how do you want to proceed? You want to go item by item, or just the ones?
Let's, let me match up what I got going here. All right, so this is the changes that we made the other night.
Yeah, and it'll have the date of 1:30 on the top left, right-hand corner.
Okay. All right, that's a help. Because I just want to see
They should all have dates on the right-hand corner, which
final
tells you what I
number is
printed.
compared to what I did myself. You've got 1,431,490, and I come up with 1,499,490. So we was pretty damn close, and I'm not really sure, but it looks like we took out some stuff that I was gonna take out, we didn't take out the other night, but I could be wrong.
There were, like, I think 2 or 3 things. We took out the $300 for the,
I had a total of $11,300 that I took out, but that's not necessarily what we completely
Well,
talked
we
about the
took
other
out,
night.
we took out like 75, let's see.
Yeah, well, I just went over this and I just said, well, maybe we can take out this much more.
So we took out 2,000 from line 4,000. I think, let me double check. Yeah.
yep,
$2,000 from line 4,000.
Yeah.
$2,000.
Hold, wait a minute, that's the equipment maintenance, yeah, okay.
Yeah. 2,000 from line 4006, that's tree cutting.
Yeah,
75,000 from paving, 4510, roads paving,
4510,
near the bottom of the page 1.
okay, that's, all right.
So we took 75,000 out of there.
75,000?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 300 from the weather meteorology line.
Yeah, I had that too.
So that's,
So you, what do you have a total of? Because I didn't have the
what
75.
number line was that?
4535.
4534 is what I have here.
4535 is
Weather
meteorology.
meteorology.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in the end, we're
Technology is
only
the other one. And that's
50, 60 bucks
$1,000.
off of what I,
So, and then we also removed from the public works line, we removed public works road bond
yeah,
to put out in its own line, and that's 172,645.
yeah.
So, and that's how we got down to the 1,431,490.
Well, I had 1,499,490, but I didn't have the 75 taken out of there. I took that out.
So it's still 3,000, like 3,000 difference, I think.
So I would be at 1,499,490. 24,490, but this is why, this is what I did, just,
Oh, you were.
I was just looking at it and saying, can we do this, can we do that? And here's what I did on line, what is that, line 4,000, equipment maintenance. This is the sum of equipment maintenance, correct? And I went back over the last few years and see what we budgeted, what we expended, and I said, well, can we take another $4,000 out of there? For the reason that we do have one new truck, more than we had. So that was just a question, that's where I took out of there. And then if you go down on, let's see, line, oh, no, not there, line, 4533, winter equipment maintenance. I went back and looked at what we budgeted, what we spent, and we had 20,000 budgeted for this year. Last year we budgeted 12, we went to 22, okay? Obviously for reasons. And I said, can we take another 3,000 out of that? We don't have that old truck, but we still have old trucks that could need more work. So I don't wanna cut it short, but,
They're a year older.
that's right, so that was just a thought.
Your
that I
pickup's a
had.
year older, right? Your pickup need work?
Well, I can't really compare that. His pickup was new, it's a year older, but those trucks were
Yeah.
10 and 15 years old.
Every truck's a year older.
You know, it's kinda like my pickup. I put $1,500 of the bodywork into it 2 years ago, and I'm putting $1,500 into it now 2 years later because it gets to the point where, you know, it either starts to go fast, you keep dumping money in it, or you unload it. So, that's what I'm asking. I'm not saying we should do that. That was just when I went down through this, if that was a possibility.
When we had our discussion today, Mark, about the cost stuff, one of the things that Calvin said to me, because I thought the same thing, you know, new truck, it would be less for maintenance. And his comment was that a lot of the stuff for the maintenance for the new trucks is more expensive than the old trucks because they're new trucks.
We budget that throughout the year. That's why there's all this stuff for the computer and everything's all in the budget for that.
Right, but like an
So-
oil change on the new truck, he was saying costs like $700, but an oil change on the old truck costs like 20
Oh.
or 50.
Yeah,
But that's what he was saying,
well, those things, the smaller trucks,
the smaller
not
trucks.
the older trucks.
So I would say, you want me to dig into that?
Like the
Oh.
one-tons pickups,
Okay,
so that's,
Yeah, that'd be way too much for spread.
I
well, they're probably about the same in there.
guess I misunderstood.
All right, I'm just asking. I mean, I went down through it. I was trying to be fair both sides and just asking. If the majority feels that we have to leave it the way it is, I'm okay with that because the number that I have for the final is only $50 off from what you guys started with before I took out the 75, so I'm not opposed to it, but.
This is very interesting. If we remove the paving line as far as the increase from the paving line, we basically wipe out all increase in the budget. The whole increase in the overall budget is the paving line, because the paving line is $143,500 more, and the total public works budget is $143,406 more. So basically, other than the paving line, we've kept the budget at zero. And we were specifically looking at that paving line, targeting, trying to do more.
When I figured it, I hadn't taken that out.
Yeah.
That's where I come to the 149, the 1499, so.
Anybody thoughts? Anybody want to go along with
I agree with Mark. I
Mark's
mean,
suggestions?
absolutely. I was questioning that when he was giving it to us.
Sarah?
My only concern about cutting maintenance lines and cutting everything just to the bone is that I don't want to have broken down trucks in the middle of the winter and not have money set aside to fix them. I'd rather
Oh, I agree.
have the money there, and if it doesn't get spent, it doesn't get spent. It goes back into other projects, capital projects for the taxpayers. It doesn't go away. And rather than risking being caught in the middle of something without the resources to to make the repairs.
We're not taking a lot away from either. You're talking $2,000 or $3,000. I mean, that ain't a lot of money when it comes to when you got $56,000 to start with.
Yeah, I'm just, that would be my one,
Know what I mean?
that's my one.
So, I think I could almost go along with your summer maintenance, bringing it down to around, I'd say maybe, we spent 32,000 last year. If we brought it down to somewhere around 32 or 33, I could be comfortable with that. Bringing down the winter maintenance, no, we spent 22,000 last year, we budgeted 20,000 and trying to cut another 3,000. I say no on that, but.
That's because we had that old truck still in service last year. We were still trying to get by. We got rid of the old truck and got a new one this year. So you got rid of one of the old trucks that he was spending a lot of money on, and we got a newer one.
Summer maintenance.
I would be okay taking the 3,000 out of the summer maintenance.
3511,
So you're saying 3 out of the summer maintenance?
He
no.
said 4 out of that one.
4,000, sorry.
It's,
Yeah.
you know, I was just getting close to 32.
Yeah.
Then
But
you-
I don't know what the difference is.
So,
I mean, I don't think you're swapping apples for apples.
Right.
But- And that is part of what my concern was making sure that the older trucks, I know they're a year older, you know, sometimes things go a lot faster, but I don't wanna skin it too tight, but I'm just trying to come with a,
I think we got a good
So-
hand on our maintenance now, hopefully.
I
and,
think so.
We won't be spending as much money as we were previously.
so what do you wanna cut that? What are we doing at 4,000?
well, I don't know if we've settled for, that's what I did, to try to keep it towards the 32.
Okay.
I was on the summer maintenance is what I was
So-
on.
I would,
If-
I would be okay going 4,000 with that if we left the other one where it is.
Oh, I see.
I could live with that.
So,
So it would be 4,000 out of line 4,000 is what I'm talking right
you
now.
wanna go 32?
And, I would be okay with that. If the need arose, we could probably absorb some from somewhere else.
Because I've added JD Link, which is 1,500, so we spent $32,071. I've
Mhm.
added the JD Link, which is another 15, so that'll bring it to 33,571. And you wanna go to 32, okay?
Yep.
So that's,
What's the 1,500 you just said?
JD Link.
JD Link software.
that's stuff that tells me what's going on with the equipment from remotely, so on my computer, if anything's happened to that machine, an alert comes up, tells me if it's.
The other truck's got it?
The truck's got it, and the equipment's got, all the equipment has it. So I have got all that stuff added, updated. and
Maintenance should be
I run
good
that.
this year.
I run that.
So that would be 33.5 total, if you added that back in, is what you're
You want the
saying?
32,071 that we spent last year, added the 15 for the JD Link, that puts us at 33,571.
Wait, did you have that JD Link at one? Didn't you have that?
Didn't have it before.
Didn't have it, I mean, but you didn't have a,
I
you
can
didn't
go
have a
along
road
with
for it.
that. Is that all right?
So with 33.5 then.
Yeah.
And presumably, or at least I'd like to think that for 1,500, the JD Link is gonna maybe help us catch some of these maintenance things before they become an expensive.
So we don't have a
event.
$32,000
So that
bill.
we don't have to spend 32 grand on,
Absolutely.
on maintenance.
Let's hope so.
So,
So you wanna go
Yeah.
33.5?
Yeah, I could live with that.
so that would be minus 2,500.
Yeah.
On line 4,000. I'm good with that.
You?
I know more about this than all of them, I'm telling you. Let's go with it. Next year, we'll argue this more.
Okay, just asking,
And
trying to be fair both ways, that's all, and I don't want.
See, I was thinking that the JD Link justified going to the 32, because now we would know about things when they were coming due, and we would be
You would
more on
think, wouldn't
top
you?
of
You would think, wouldn't you?
the,
Well, yeah, but he's saying that that Lynx was added on to the new truck, which wasn't. which
No,
didn't-
it's a program for him,
It's a
so he can
program.
just, it's like a G,
Right,
GIS,
GIS, you
and
can
it-
just punch in and say,
it comes
the
down.
heater's not working, the oil's low,
It's
or
overheating.
whatever.
It comes up and tells
Right.
me what's going on.
And I'm all right with that.
and
Once it's absorbed,
I'm more than happy to, next year when we look at this, and if we see that we've dropped on maintenance costs, I'm more than happy to look at this again too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm concerned about,
So you're saying
Yeah,
leave
Kevin.
leave the winter one where it is then?
I would, but there are four
Yeah.
of us, so if
I mean, I
three-
was hemming and hawing about that, I was just, you know, if we could, if there was a spot, could we do that? I don't know, I mean, I'm nervous about doing that with old trucks myself, so. I said I was trying to be fair both sides, but I could live with that, dropping this other one down what we did, it's not what I was looking at, but I could live with that.
how much were you contemplating taking out of it?
The,
$2,000.
winter ones, The winter one, 3. Putting it to 17 instead of 20. I mean, I did voice I was nervous about that the other night, and I still was, but
Right.
that's why I don't like to make all my decisions the night I get it presented to me, so I can have a chance to look it over and think about it. But I could, you know, that one I've still been up in the air with, just because it's old. So. And I've looked over those old trucks, and I'm no expert on trucks like that, but I can see things that make sense to me that ain't good, so.
I've cut 3,000 off, and I cut 3,000 or 2,300 off from last year's.
I can live with that the way it is. The rest of it I'm okay with.
Any other questions or suggestions on on the budget? Okay, capital works,
Do you want a motion on it?
yeah, we can.
Well, we need the numbers.
Do we need a motion on it, or do we not do that till after the budget committee's been through it?
Yeah.
We kind of, we don't usually do motions until we're getting ready for the articles, but we can, if you want to do.
No,
them.
that's fine. I thought we did
I
at
can't-
this stage. I can't
actually
remember.
can't remember either, so. So that would bring it down to, 1 for,
If you look on the board, I have it all up there.
oh, thank you.
Oh.
So 1428,990,
Yeah.
it brings it down to.
And then we have the capital works budget and, question on the funding for the public works bond. How are we,
So what I had done is I had done what you had suggested. I had split it in half. So half of the Public Works bond and the 37,350
and the wash bay
and the
card,
wash base bay are all covered by
the public works capital?
Public Works Capital Fund, which has $359,000 in it.
And,
349.
yeah, and we are actually, looking to put another 100 in anticipation of a truck next year.
Right.
Is at my suggestion, now, we did not actually discuss or vote or come to a consensus on that. That was my suggestion, so we probably should make sure we're at a consensus on all of these lines. And so the first one, Public Works, paving the Public Works facility. Are we in agreement that we should put this on?
Oh, okay, right here.
The 14,241 is unspent. Is what got returned from last year's budget.
No, the 14,241 was the monies that we got from FEMA for the blizzard.
Okay.
That we put into the Capital Works Public Reserve.
Okay.
The Public Works, Capital Reserve.
Last year, we actually returned 188,000, if I'm reading this correct, right? Approximately.
198,000. You mean this past year, 2016?
Yeah, I see 188,134 was the difference in the budget, so
That's what it was.
That was 100.
I need more papers.
Yeah.
Went right 188, 136 is what.
So
Yeah,
Public Works
188,
Capital
136,
Fund,
like that.
yeah, we returned 198,000.
where'd the extra 10,000 come from?
The extra 10,000 came from the money that we received from the old plow when we traded it in. So the plow wasn't 204,000
Well,
because
that
it
was
was a
a
return.
hell of a deal, too.
Thank you. Okay. So, if we go down the paving Public Works facility, are any objections to that being in there? No. Okay. The wash bay curtain.
Yes. I think that's, it's not a necessity. That's just, it's a necessity to it. And I was thinking more about that, about the outlets on the wall. I mean, you can get outlet covers for your house, so make sure it gets waterproof with GFI in it to solve it. And the drains in the middle of that building, not on the edges. So that's where you park the truck over, is the middle of the bay. It's not near the walls. Like I said, I think that's more of a luxury than it is a necessity to have for $10,000 for taxpayers' money, to put curtains up so we don't spray each other.
Well, I went down, looked the area over myself too, just to see if it was you know, if that was something that I would be willing to support or not. And I think it's more than just receptacles there, because you've got
Emergency lights.
emergency lights, you've got a couple of meter panels there, you've got the backup generator panels there. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, and obviously the battery stuff's there. We could move that again. I know it got proposed to be put out there by the safety outfit people and stuff.
Once again, the drain's in the middle of the building, not
Yeah.
on the edges.
I agree. So you suggested just do, so you could just wash one truck? I mean, this is set up.
Yeah, you can wash 2 trucks right in the middle of that place if you had to, but you can put 1 truck safely in the middle of it and walk around it, no problem with that hose. Oh, that's only when it's sub-zero blowout. When it's not, you wanna do it outside anyways, because you don't want all that stuff filtering into your oil separator, all the dirt and all your sand. So you'd be wanting to do your trucks outside as much as you can possibly in there. This is only if it's below, sub-zero below weather, so we're gonna, for me to comfortably spend taxpayers' money, $10,000, because when it's real cold for the guys to wash inside the building, to me is kinda extravagant.
Well, it's not just about,
There is no, I can't think of another public workplace that'll actually wash the trucks inside all the time, no matter what. They
Well, I
always
don't-
wash
I
so
don't
much
think
as
they're
they
gonna
can.
wash
I don't think they were talking about doing it all the time.
Even
every
Lisbon
time.
washes outside all, most of they can. I mean, once in a while they'll spray down inside, but only when they really have to.
Yeah, if it gets down below 12 degrees, you can't, it just keeps building ice the more you spray them.
Right, right, and I understand that, I mean, that's why
15 degrees, somewhere in there.
you might have to pick warmer days, is all I'm saying, if you don't get your curtain.
I know, but the problem is sometimes you get into these stretches where you just don't get them, and I hate leaving that salt on the truck, and so I'm getting after the guys, and they're like, what do you want me to do? I can't do it at 10
And
degrees.
just wash 1 truck at a time in the middle of the day.
did you get a chance to get a firm price on? I know we talked the other day, and you had a price on, was it curtain going across the building,
Mhm.
and then down the sides to protect all the electrical stuff and
Well, I had
whatever?
one, had been coming across the middle and down the middle, but then realized that, yeah, we gotta have one down both sides.
Oh, that was across the
middle
end of it,
down
and
the
one down the middle?
Yeah,
That wasn't
so
one
you'd
down
have
each
to-
side?
You'd have to double that. That came in at $5,000, you'd have to double that.
But what, you don't really, I mean, even if you needed them to protect, against the walls to protect the electric, you could still wash 2 trucks side by side without a curtain between the 2 of them. I mean, that wouldn't, from shielding 1 truck from another is less of a necessity, I would anticipate, than shielding the electrical panels.
It is.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
So
Can we
Right.
do
if you took the $5,000, added another curtain, so you'd add 30%, add 33% to that. Give you both sides and the middle.
Why can't you just put outlet covers on the outlets if you're worried about that? If you mean, to put a curtain across the back, they'll cover all your work area and all your welding
Because
materials and
your
everything.
box is still there, water's gonna be getting in behind.
It's just like a house, right?
Yeah, but you don't spray a hose in your house, I would anticipate.
If you got rain and all day long, rain beating against your house, running down your siding, I mean, it's the same thing. Right, why can't we get them
I
for
think
it?
it's different.
Well, I think
than
it's
that.
gonna cost
I think
us
it's a little
more
different.
to have an electrician come in and convert those all to exterior weatherproof outlets than it would be to put a curtain.
I mean, then one day I went up and watched, and it was gonna.
You really think these curtains are gonna last?
Well, ones we had up, where I came from, lasted for years, so. We were gonna wash the truck one day, and I looked, and there was, the welder was plugged in, it was laying on the floor over there, and I'm like, I don't think so.
I just, I see a tire changer here, you know what I mean?
No, we already got that.
Yeah,
I know, what we went through with that.
I have just been right after the crew about making sure those trucks get washed. Every
Well, I want them
single
washed
one.
too,
I don't
'cause I
want
don't want-
Absolutely.
Excuses, I don't want excuses of, well, I couldn't get done this week, and then it says.
I got,
Can
I
you
got-
get a,
6 vehicles I gotta wash where I
can you get
live.
a firmer price on one across
Yep.
and down the side?
Yep.
And then we'll see where this lands. Can
And-
we have that like before the end of the week?
This was a budget number, so.
No, I get that, but
Also, at our last meeting, I think one of you guys raised the question of, to make sure that before we spend the money on these curtains, that either the insurer or OSHA or somebody's not gonna come in and say, that's not sufficient to be protection for the electrical.
Well, it's one of those things where.
You don't necessarily wanna rock the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remembered that question came up and I didn't know if it was ever resolved.
I asked about that, and that is one of the things where, yeah, Dave, you might rock the boat.
Yeah.
But I don't, at the same sense, I don't wanna not rock the boat and find out that we've just done something, and now we gotta spend 3 times to make it right.
I mean, as long as there's no way that water can get to the electrical, any electrical, I can't imagine there would be an issue. I would imagine right now there'd be an issue if they walk in with washing trucks and they had all those open electrical circuits.
Oh,
We've had
That's
those.
why I stopped in to look it over. I
Well, we've
wanted
had
to see
those
for myself.
those GFI outlets we had tested, and a lot of them didn't trip, they failed.
I've had them
So,
fail at my house too.
If they don't trip, you're gonna get electrocuted.
Can we get a firmer price by the end of the week? Fall.
I don't know how the fire, I don't know how the fire department lives without washing, having curtains over there. I really don't.
I don't know, how do you wash your truck, you wash them inside?
We don't have water.
Oh, well, they don't have the salt, but they can wait till it's warmer, because they don't have all that salt on their trucks, they gotta get off.
Well, I look at it a couple different ways. I look at
I
it,
wish we would've put in is the wash bay.
I look at it like, okay, are we spending the taxpayers' money foolishly or not? Well,
Yeah.
you can say we are until something happens and it costs you more than that to get out of the mess. That's the balance that I'm weighing.
I just don't want somebody spraying water in there with somebody welding over there and stuff plugged in and coax plugged into battery chargers.
You
motors,
guys, you still got your part-timers coming in and washing trucks, right?
Yeah,
So your full-timers are not there, correctly, right?
yeah, they're all.
So you won't have full-time workers working in there when the trucks are being washed, right?
They're all there, they're all working, together.
My bigger concern is just getting the salt off so that we're not paying for it in trucks
Right.
and
I
truck
just-
maintenance and.
I
and
agree.
what have you,
I
that
think it
piece
pays
of
for itself long-term.
I think it will too. I think we should table that to the end of the week and get a firmer price on them curtains. And is there any other money that's left over in that whole bunch of stuff, for tools or whatever, that
It's about 2,400.
2,400, that could go towards that in the event that we decide to do that?
Yep.
Okay, can you get us a firmer price at the end of the week? One on each side and one across? We'll decide then.
All right,
Thanks.
next line is a Public Works road bond, 172,645.
That's a given.
Yep. And the last one is Public Works Reserve, putting aside 100,000 to keep with the same 100,000 we put aside last year so that we can continue to replace these trucks on a 2-year.
Yeah, and that's basically coming out of the monies that that's not raising.
No, this one is this one would be raising to put into the fund.
Okay,
So next year, we take the 100,000 we raised this year and 100,000 next year, and we can buy a truck.
So we pay cash for the truck and we're not
Right,
bonding the
yeah.
truck.
Because we know, I mean, that's a 12-year span. We've got six trucks in basically every 12 years, so
right.
we'll be going through the rotation on those. And just so we know that that's what's gonna cost us, we know that those trucks don't last forever.
Are those trucks undercoated?
Okay. So we will come back to the wash bay curtain,
That's my suggestion. I'm only one.
I'm fine. It would be nice to have some firmer numbers on that. I mean, just because we will be asked, did you get estimates? Did you?
I did get an estimate, and that's what I got, it was $5,000 for.
And we anticipate you
Yeah.
swinging hard too, just like everybody else. Don't get me, that's what you department heads are supposed to do, swing hard. And we're the ones that are supposed to sit there and question it, not be bobbleheads.
So,
Yeah, you got one for across down the middle, but if we do each side, and
I
down
just
and across,
don't-
well, we're kind of guessing. If we got a number, that'll solve the problem.
Maybe it gets cheaper with.
And does that
quantity.
Well,
that
yeah,
number include the hardware to install it?
No, that's everything.
that's an install, that's turnkey, you walk
Yep.
away. They're ready to
I
go.
just want to make sure that all of a sudden we don't have to bring somebody else in to
Right.
install it.
And what is the warranty on that as well?
I'd have to find out, I'd have to get that.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
haven't
mean.
got that far to even get a.
Yeah,
I just
no,
got an
that's
email
fine.
or a number. So, the bottom line is, the way the budget is, it's actually cut again the second year, except for the increase in the paving, which I have no control over that. That's dictated by the condition of the roads and miles of road we have to do and get it.
It's only getting worse, I hear it every day. Some I hear from my side of town, some I hear from the other side of town, so.
You too.
Okay.
I heard it just 2
So-
days ago.
One other thing to address on this is his items in green. Are we in favor of trying to delay another bond for the roads for one more year? Because it does appear that it cost us significantly less
Yes.
Okay.
I'm in favor of it.
So, but you see what I did put
Mhm.
across there, $100 a foot, $75 a foot, and $65 a foot.
For just Davis Road, yeah.
Yeah, and we paid, because I was thinking, well, maybe, our crew, if we've got some time left to do ditching on Pond Road, that we could then, be tackling one of them, maybe.
Imagine that, huh? Wouldn't that be something?
Tackle one of these.
Get ahead?
Yeah, so,
Wow.
But-
or if you did, we could just go start ditching.
That'd be awesome,
The-
Kelvin, if you could do
I
that.
mean, the one thing is, I don't think we wanna put a rinky-dink little bond out there, and I don't think we can pay for this without a bond.
I don't even want to mention the word bond, tell you the truth.
I mean,
I
I
don't
think,
want it this year.
I think we need to wait a year and then look at it, next year, maybe even look at 2 years' worth of work into one. And so we're not continuously every year coming for,
Right, but, and we've beefed up the paving line enough that I think that that we can still do some significant projects and make some progress. And I also think the idea, going back to what you've said and what your predecessor said, is we do have to spend some time and money on the roads that aren't total rebuilds. And so to spend this next building season on preventative maintenance on some of the roads that we can do shims and overlay and not bond is a useful project as well.
I mean, and I think we need to, when we go to town, when we go to the budget committee, we need to explain what our plan is, because we know that there are roads out there that need to be rebuilt. We know that there will be townspeople saying, well, why aren't you doing anything with this road?
Well, I got a feeling you're gonna get people, very unhappy people live on Davis Road and
We already got them.
Bowie Hill.
We already got them. Meadow Road, I got people
And
screaming at me.
I understand that, but if we can show that we're saving 35-40% by waiting a year to when your crew will have time.
And if you could find a way to actually go out and I don't know, if, like you did one time and dump hot top down with the grader and go over some of that stuff and smooth it out some, it might calm down, even though it's just a temporary
Yeah.
fix.
I
It
was
might
thinking-
calm down a lot of that.
I was
Meadow
thinking so,
Road
too.
and,
Yeah.
if you could think of that maybe this year and with your budget,
I mean, it's
think
not the ultimate, and it does give it a little bit of a rumble, but it
it's
did
better
seem
than
to
what
help
it
a
is.
lot. You know,
The plows,
Worth looking at.
plows get stuck on the road, getting plowed.
I mean, I
I know
heard
it
that
ain't,
the other day on the Bowie Hill, and I said, well, I guess I got thinking, as I went down the Davis Road, well, this is what Sean did here. It weren't perfect, but it's helped some pacify people for a while.
I know you did that on Rabbit Road to help out some, so if we can do that, think about it,
It's a
maybe on
thought.
some of these bad roads like Meadow and Davis and
Okay.
Bowie.
And the only other option is the people that asked me, and I explained it to them, as I said, is show up town meeting and you make your proposal, and if the town says we'll spend that $2 billion, that's what we'll spend.
That's right.
That's,
That's what it comes down to.
Raise your hand. You want your taxes to be 10,000 apiece?
Two-
We'll be 10,000 apiece.
2 billion, I think I'm moving out.
That was exaggerating, but
Yes.
All right, any more on that one?
All right,
I'm
so
happy with that one at this point.
shall we go to fire
Okay.
rescue?
Yep, thank you, Kelvin.
Thank you.
And thank you for putting the numbers together from the
I'll be checking them out, thank you.
project.
Okay.
I'll be sitting down with my analysis guy.
The Monday morning quarterback. So,
You gonna pick his gavel up for him?
All right.
Shannon, I don't wanna mess with her.
For now, we'll skip over the personnel and support and benefits, because we'll kind of address all those, I think, all at once.
Okay.
Operating expenses. Did anybody have any suggestions on this? I know it's been probably 3 weeks since we first saw this, but.
Where are you, down here?
No, I mean, it's the same conversation that we just had about roads. Is the biggest increase is equipment maintenance, and that's just a reality of equipment gets old, and same situation. We don't want to be caught with a fire truck that's having problems, and we aren't doing the maintenance that we need to do because we don't have money in the budget.
I'd also, I added a line underneath the totals, which is percent of budget unspent, that's left unspent. And so I just wanted to point out that in 2014, 0%, it's point something percent actually. 2015, 2%, and in 2016, 1% of his budget was left unspent.
Where did you
Oh,
say-
it's on the.
Oh, it's on the screen,
Oh,
okay. I was
okay.
gonna say, I
Well,
don't
I
have
thought-
that. That's left unspent, you said?
That's the percentage of his budget that was left unspent.
You almost got it.
So he's pretty close.
Pretty close.
Okay, so, at this point, no suggestions for changes on the operating budget?
Just one question, because I can't pick up exactly where we had it. But there was something to do with $3,000 you talked about, testing or something?
Yeah, PS on this one.
Hose testing, it was under hose and equipment maintenance.
Yeah, that's the one that's,
And if you go to my breakdown, the hose line increased, and it was, it's not really 3,000, I think I don't have.
2950.
Maybe, yeah,
2950.
2950.
Now, you said that was an annual test, Bill,
Yeah, it's an annual hose test, the company would come in and do all this testing.
and you're doing that
Yeah.
previously, you're doing it now, right now.
House for it now.
So we're gonna spend $3,000 for one test once a year, that you could be doing, you just told me it was annually.
Each piece of test, hose has to be tested.
Right.
So it actually is 6 evenings is what it takes us.
Takes you guys 6 right now.
Yeah, so it, yes. And it probably, as I said the other night, to me, it's one of the most dangerous things that,
And when you,
non-emergency items that we do.
Right, but
Because we're actually.
when they are charged, when you're at a
Yeah,
scene,
we have.
they're under the same pressures when you're testing them.
No, yeah, on scene versus testing. Testing, you have to test them at half of the original manufacturer pressure. If they
Right.
were originally tested at 600, it's supposed to be 300. Yeah, so it's supposed to be 50% of what the original factory test pressure was. With structural hose, is gonna be 600 or 800. We're not gonna fit at most departments. Cheat a little on that pressure, most of them do not line their engines up to 300 or
It's
400.
screaming the shock pretty good there.
Because on scene, you tend to operate, on scene, pressure doesn't put fires out, water puts fires out.
Right.
So you tend to operate at maybe, 100.5 to 200 is high pressure. So you have to test them at a higher pressure than what you're actually gonna operate on scene, is what the goal is. And they have to be tested annually, it's part of our inspection actually, both for ISO requirements and part of, for the, when they come in and do the insurance inspections or the shape inspections, that's one of the records they test.
Absolutely, I agree with it.
Make sure the hose testing is done, and the pump testing, or ladder testing and stuff like that. But the only one we don't currently use outside resources to do the testing on.
So would that be an issue of somebody else coming in for a day and testing all the hoses, or would
Yeah.
that be sending trucks out, or?
No, they come in for a day. I haven't done a ton of research, I can't honestly tell you that they actually use water to do the testing, but I don't know if they do or they don't. They come in and ours is definitely, our volume's low enough, so they'd be in
Bless you.
a day's time.
We used to watch Freeport charge theirs and test theirs up on Lambert Road.
Yep, and actually, most departments are gradually switching the hose testing to an outside company, just because, not because of the, one, trying to get people there to do it, because when we do it, obviously with water, we've got to test it, we've got to stretch it out, test it, I said about 6 nights, well, one night's actually in the fall, go over and use a hydrant to do the 4-inch, because it takes too much water to fill the 4-inch and really to effectively test it, so we go over the falls, that's usually a long night. You're talking probably 6 nights, anywhere from 6 to 12 people.
Good
A
practice.
quick night is probably 3 hours.
So the
fall is
real,
usually 4.5.
the real issue is getting the personnel there to do
It's
it?
part of the issue. It's part of the issue, but it's repetitious. If there was some way we could be creative with it and make it into a training, and so they were getting something out of it, but the constant repetition, I mean, I can write it off as pump testing and training, and occasionally I do give people, well, no, just simple learn the ropes on pumping. But
You learn how to run the truck.
You build the pressure to 250 and that's it. It just sits there and hums for 5 minutes and then
Dump it.
you back off and hook up the next stuff. so. Yeah, so getting personnel was difficult. One, it's very unsafe, because you're testing it to see if the line's gonna blow. You want it to blow in a controlled environment. Well, we're constantly trying to make sure people stay. Once we put the test on, one of the big things is, you don't walk through it, or forever.
Right, you run your hoses out.
Wander out, or cut across the hose, or something.
Stand behind the truck and let the lines out.
Yeah, so yeah. To me, it's probably, the requirements are that they have to wear their hard hat, their gloves, their turnout pants and boots and stuff like that, but, you get somebody showing up late, they walk across all the charged hoses, you're chasing after them, screaming them, so the whole thing is an accident waiting to happen, in my opinion, and it's not an emergency setting, so. That's why I put it in there.
So when they do it in a controlled setting, how do they do it?
Same way.
Be perfectly honest with you, I'm not 100% sure, I've never watched it. The only thing I can tell you for sure is,
They're gonna lay the
call
hose
them
out.
up, they come in, they test it all, they mark it all, they re-vet it all. That's the only things I can really tell you for sure.
And is this a kind of a budget number estimate, or is this an
No, it's
actual quote?
I have an
Okay.
actual quote that I believe is 2,950. If you have that written down, I must have got that off of my notes or something, or had my quote with me that
Yeah.
night.
Okay. I know we talked about it a little bit, I just was trying to understand it a little bit more, so.
Any suggestions for changes then, or shall we move on to the?
No, I guess I'm all set.
So if we go to, let's see, do we have a budget sheet that shows that too? I don't see it, but if we go to the Durham Fire Rescue and EMA budget requests, we can go work down through the different capital improvements or capital things. So first one is to see what sum of money the town will authorize for the capital improvement account. And the request is for $50,000, up $5,000 from 2016. Anything you want to say on that? I mean, I know basically, but anything else?
Not really, I would hope it'd go that way, especially if some of the thought process is inevitably we should only pay for one at a time. That's inevitably the goal of the hopes. We need to average it out and figure out, if we're on a 20-year replacement schedule, that means once every 3 years. When we start talking engines right now, we might as well, for a rough guess, call 500,000. So we need to be able to, if we're gonna do it, so we can pay one off for 3 years worth of savings or 3 years at a time. We theoretically need to be making sure, I can do an average, it's about $2.1 million, so we need to be getting somewhere around $200,000 to $300,000 in there per year to do the apparatus replacement. So I would hope we maintain that 50,000 actually, and maybe consider increasing it. If we go on that replacement schedule, doing it that way. Yeah, I'd say that's probably about an accurate number. If we were to replace them all, not replacing the ladder with a new ladder, we're probably about, the engines are about 5 each, and then 3, 6, and a 9 for a ladder, and actually we're probably about 2.4 million for apparatus if we had to replace them all brand new tomorrow.
Over 20 years.
And if some of them are gonna be more than 20, for like a rescue, you should do it in 12 years or something like that, so I'd say an average is somewhere 20, 22, somewhere in there.
And so
Yeah, so
2.4.
we need to maybe be 2 to 250, somewhere in there per year.
100.
Sound right?
150.
150? 150
Two
would be
times.
what,
That would be that would be 3 million over 20 years. 150. Yeah.
Yeah. So if that, if that's the direction that the board and the community inevitably want to head, then to me, if anything, we need to figure that number's eventually gonna have to increase more if we're gonna go on that replacement plan. And that actually is what my capital plan had been doing. It had been increasing it in like $5,000 increments so that it was not harsh, sudden blow.
Another question on that, I mean, I know this year the rescue intake was considerably higher than a year. So this is a second year with a considerable increase. It was 70,000, 72,000 or something like that that we took in for that. Yeah.
72, yeah.
Do you see that staying there, or you see that coming down?
I think this year, I think it'll be down some. And I think it'll be up from previous years, based on what I'm seeing at this point in time, and based on the tail end of last year. I don't think we'll maintain 72. You already know me, I don't estimate
I know.
revenues high. I tend to estimate them conservatively. So I think my conservative estimate, I gotta look at it closer, but it's gonna be somewhere around 60, maybe 62 at the top.
So are you seeing less
I think
call volume this year then, or?
Yeah, actually, our call volume right now, it's not on the same pace as last year. And we had 2 or 3 people with medical situations that would contributed to generating some of that revenue, so, and some of that's changed, so I guess I can't be more specific than that without violating the laws, sorry. So no, I think my conservative, when I actually crunch those numbers, my conservative estimate would be somewhere around 62,000, so knowing me, I'd say that would probably be, the tops would be maybe a $65,000 revenue.
Yeah, so, I mean, if we go with the 50,000 and with this year's 72, that's 122, but with what you're estimating, it'd be around 110, 115,000 that we'd be putting towards the capital.
That's only if we're only gonna address out of capital fund, just apparatus replacement,
Right.
nothing for capital projects at the station or anything.
And it
So I
sounds like,
we
though,
would try
that,
to leave it at the 50. I wouldn't recommend increasing it this year, but if that is the direction that the selectmen and the town people want me to redo the capital plan based on, well, I'm fine with redoing it. It's just, we should also assume that we're gonna have to change how we contribute to get it up there to that point. It's not so much it's gonna cost us more in the future, so to speak, but we've been kinda using it as a overlapping payment schedule, and if we're gonna move away from that, we're gonna have to do larger lump sums. Does that make sense, what I said?
Initially, yeah.
Yes, initially, eventually it'll line out.
well, and at the state, you were talking about capital projects at the station. After this year and the paving and some of the painting and getting that floor done, the station should be in pretty good shape moving forward, I would
Not bad. It
anticipate.
depends on what we choose to do with the modular in the future. The modular could use some attention. There's some smaller odds and ends, but I really wanted to step back and kind of assess the smaller odds and ends, so I wasn't just grasping and throwing recommendations out there and things like that. So we have a dug well. I think inevitably we should perhaps address the well situation and maybe put in a drilled well over there. Septic system has probably been there since before the original station.
gonna say,
was-
before the old
new
fire station.
was put up in the 80s, the septic system went in the same time. So the septic system's been there since 82. So we're probably ready for, one blessing is we have good sandy soil, so hopefully it held up halfway decent, so maybe it doesn't, but things like that. I need to get some people in to make some assessment before I could really give you a good picture, but I think those were all things that could wait until we get,
Right, there's nothing really emergent at this point.
the what?
No, there's nothing that's really like
Pressing?
pressing.
Not that I know of. I'm not gonna tell you next week, I might change my tune, but not that I know of.
You don't have buckets around, with roof leaks and all of that.
So, what's the desire of the board on the sum towards the capital improvement account? He's requesting the 50,000 up from 45,000.
Sounds good to me. Everybody rather do little ones than the
Yep.
big
That sounds.
500,000 at once.
Next one, the quit payment, that's
That's
basic.
is what it is.
It's there, it is what it is.
And then the next one is, okay, that's all out because that was for the station. So the next one down there is seeking an authorization to purchase a new engine package for a price not to exceed $486,000. At this point, there's no request of money because it would not come no payments would come due until 2018, but we would have to consider that on a 6-year payment. That's probably, what, 90,000, close to 90,000 a year.
Well, we actually discussed it the other night at the senior officer meeting. I'd say, yeah, probably, the payments on the 486, if we, well, the 486 would probably come up to, if we did it over 6 years, would probably be 90, maybe 95. But we originally put it in the capital plan at 80,000, but that was when I had a projected purchase price of like 450, 460, somewhere in there. I don't know what our interest rates are at now. For a while, they used to, correct me if I'm wrong, but they used to be down around 2 to 3%, somewhere in that vicinity. I don't know if they're still in that range or not.
Well, the bond was about 2%, and the bonds that we did for Public Works were at like 3.95 or something like that, so 4 or less.
What's the 6-year, why is the 6-year out there? Can it be more?
No,
Or is that just-
I actually, when we embarked upon the apparatus replacement, I had the plan. I think it was like 2004 or something like that. Yeah, 2003, we started putting together the capital plan. When we put it together, well, some of the apparatus were 40 years older. I mean, we had 1 or 2 that were approaching the 40-year mark, so we had to be fairly aggressive. But by the same token, we didn't want to do, hey, let's go out and spend $200,000. So we came up with a plan that was really spread this stuff out to kind of, and with the concept of catching up first. The first round was really kind of a catch-up round, and then kind of maintaining. And so it was really a continuation of that plan, and maintaining and trying to avoid spikes to the community. Like I was kind of, you know, if we do like a 3-year replacement cycle, every 3 years, we'll pay them, divide them out for 3 years. Well, if when I have a forestry truck come up, that's maybe 200,000, so that's like an $80,000 payment. When I have an engine come up, that's 500,000. So, you know, the purpose of the capital plan was to kind of keep it on an even plane. The purpose of the 6 years was really, yeah, we knew there was going to be overlap, but it was to keep it so that you could shuffle your payments instead of committing to $140,000 or $150,000 payment. Your commitment was a $50,000 or an $80,000 payment on one, and okay, you're halfway done paying that, well, yeah, okay, we can continue to do it, so we'll put the other half on and we'll apply it to this apparatus. So I don't know if I'm making sense what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Instead of having one piece here, we had kind of layered, like you'd lay your blocks when you
So
lay
instead of going out 10 years or 12 years, you was doing 6 to get halfway through, and then if you had to go with another one, we've got 3 years overlapping.
I don't think you'd want to go out. I think you want to pull them in.
Right, but that's why I'm just asking what the reason behind that was.
Yep.
And that's what he just asked.
We needed to do aggressive replacement without, and build a system simultaneously. So it's kind of a carryover. If the thought process is let's have just one happening at any given time, where you have a higher risk per se, because your commitment when you do it is say 150,000 instead of 70,000, and then 3 years later, well, okay. But you have 2 constantly overlapping, so you have an opportunity to carry on at 70,000 instead of 140,000. I don't know if that makes sense what I'm saying. If you have to delay it a year, you're delaying 70,000, whereas once you commit to 140,000, you have no option of delaying. And I'm not saying either one's a bad thought process. I really like the other thought process. In all honesty, I really wish we had a plan where we never borrowed money and we paid up front.
I agree. We need some real rich friend in town that was willing to help us with that.
Well,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
in a lot of ways, we're basically trying to slowly work there, but it takes a long time, and then you hit bumps and you.
Yeah, well, you know, and if you look at my picture I painted, if you figure you have a fleet of 2.4 million, and you're having that, the replacement cycle is 22 years or whatever, an average is 22 years, that means you've got to be doing 2.4 million every 22 years, and then if you put any quirks in there, like a station payment or capital upgrade for the station, so the reality is you've got to take the givens, which are the apparatus, and then throw in your other unknown variables, like it's the upkeep. You can average out to 10,000, say, for the station upkeep and maintenance capital projects. So Well, we could calculate it, it's just, yeah, it's gonna be beefed up, and we were trying to get there. It's been a slow process getting to where we are.
This 486 is, if this was approved at town meeting, that's the top dollar, it's not gonna come in at.
Yeah, we didn't commit to a vendor, we had 4 vendors resubmit. And they range, I'll be honest with you, they range in price from like high 460s to 519 or something like that. We end up making it work with a lower price vendor, this would come under. If we end up with a higher price vendor, which is actually the one I prefer, but they gotta do some serious work to make it fit.
In the difference between the high and the low vendor, other than I know the thousands of dollars, but is there a huge quality difference or a huge?
Well, that's what we need to examine. If this is approved to me, that's what us and the committee, we need to make the decision is the difference in price. And they'd have to get down to this price range.
Right, I get that, yeah.
So, yeah, it actually, yeah, it's one of, to me, it's one of the better brands out there. They're all basically the same. I mean, we look at your auto manufacturers and stuff like that. One year, this one's on the top, and then,
Agreed, yeah. Okay.
unless you're a diehard X guy all the time, no matter what. no
Believe in
matter
that,
what
you have hiccups.
Most of them play leapfrog. If the manufacturer comes out with the new stuff, everybody else picks it up, and this one's on top for a while, and then the next one.
And we've established that there's really no resale or trade-in value on the existing.
There's very little. There is very little for a used fire truck. I mean, if we're real lucky, I think I had it calculated in the capital plan that we might get a $10,000 return on selling the engine or something.
Well, unless you live 500 miles north and you got 4 people that live in your town, they probably ain't interested in it.
Hey, $10,000 is better than nothing.
Just a question on the apparatus that would be replacing. Have you noticed any significant decline in the apparatus over the last year? Significant, more rusting or
Oh, the rusting's growing, because actually that's my major concern. Mechanically, the apparatus is, but we've already had some serious body stuff done to it. And I'm pretty sure, based on what's starting to show up, that it's only a matter of time. Mechanically,
It passed all its tests,
yep.
and the other engine didn't.
It didn't make life easier on me if I could stand up and tell you it failed all its tests. No. As far as the other one passing it, the other passed it.
Yeah, he had pump repair on the other ones.
Yep.
Yeah, so they didn't pass. They must have had some work done to them.
Well, they passed, it was valves. They passed, when it's valves, you have to have it replaced, they still pass the test. You don't necessarily have to have the valves repaired, however, you'll always have leakage going by and stuff, so.
But you repaired the other engine, not that one.
Yeah, they
That
repaired.
that one's doing pretty good. It's just the rust.
Tanker and the other engine.
Yeah.
This one here, actually, on the pump test, it had been declining, and it's pretty much stabilized this year. It's right about, just a hair under the
And
what the manufacturer specs call for in the first place.
What's
So
the-
it's not mechanical based, it's actually body based.
what's the lead time? What's the lead time on this?
About a year.
About a year.
If we ordered it, if tonight you gave me permission to order it, we would probably be seeing it, actually, it varies. Some of them say 9 months, and some of them say it's about 15 months now, so it really,
And
Well, if the town approves it, then
it wouldn't even be delivered until 2018 in the first place. That's why the first payment would never be due until 2018.
then we'd have 2 payments. We'd have Quint in that one,
Yeah, we'd have the Quinn, we'd have this one.
the Quint's the last payment.
2020.
So
Actually,
let's see,
if we didn't take,
17 is 4 or 6, so 5 or 6, 19 would be the last payment on the Quinn.
if we didn't get it till 2018, wouldn't our first loan payment be
Yeah,
2019?
19. First payment would be doing 19. So it'd
Well,
be
the
the
last
same-
And if
First
we
payment
wouldn't,
is
we
the
wouldn't be
first.
paying a,
Oftentimes we
You
do
can't-
initial
yes,
prepayments
you
and
really
we
wanna
save
go
the
with-
interest.
prepayment and save cost. What you actually would do would be, because usually these payments are annual payments. If you really want to get into it, and I wasn't gonna go into that depth, but if you really want to save costs, what you do is you do a prepayment. You finance the prepayment, And then you have a, performance bond on the apparatus, so there's no risk. You finance the prepayment, you pay the prepayment, you actually reduce your cost by $10,000 to $20,000. With an annual repayment, say you did the prepayment loan, say it was approved, let's use that theoretically, it's approved, you sign the contract in July, you do the prepayment loan in July, you make your prepayment on the truck, reduces your cost by $10,000 to $20,000. You're not due to pay that until July of the following year. July of the following year, you refinance the prepayment loan with your local bank.
How much would you, if you save the 10 to 20,000, but how much do you pay in the interest over
The
that year?
prepayment loan, you're not due to start paying until you actually, and it's interest-free until the delivery of the apparatus.
So that-
Costs nothing.
So you take out your loan upon delivery, your regular loan. upon
You've used
delivery.
their money to realistically reduce the overall purchase price.
And like you said, I think the last meeting, you said regardless whether you get this engine or not, you're gonna be coming after us for another, for the ambulance within a year or two?
The rescue, as far as, we actually should start discussing the rescue.
So what's more important, the rescue or the engine right now? Well, I know, if you had one that broke down more than the other, which one breaks down, which one's than the other one? I mean, you had to,
I'll be honest with you, if we don't do it, I'm probably gonna come back and tell you we should replace both of them.
Right.
But, I'm not gonna prioritize, I'm gonna make you prioritize, the
Right,
town people.
I know we did a head gasket and everything on the rescue and all
The
that.
rescue is starting to show signs of age. It doesn't have exceptional mileage. The body's aluminum, so rust probably won't be otherwise than electrolysis between the frame and the aluminum. I don't know how well insulated it is.
That one had head gasket in the front end done, right, if I remember right?
Yeah, it's had a bunch of
Mechanical work.
especially on
Breakdown.
the AC system's been terrible on it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that
one's
apparatus-
starting to show signs that, no, you need to.
Mechanical wise.
Yeah, that one's starting to show signs that mechanically, that yeah.
So mechanically wise, we got the ambulance is breaking down and we got a fire truck. Mechanically wise, it's not, it's showing a little bit of rust.
So that's why we should do the fire truck now, get it done out of the way.
Oh, I see. Then come after us for more money in 2 years right, then we have 3 bonds.
The quint will be gone. The quint will be gone. If we're gonna use that logic, the quint will actually be gone. The payment on the quint would be gone.
Oh, hey.
And make the first payment on the rescue.
Just keep the money going, that's all.
Lottery tickets. Start buying lottery tickets.
Town of Durham, every week, buy lottery tickets.
So what's the thought on the board as far as putting this out onto the warrant, or what?
Well, I think
And
it should,
actually-
I think it goes to the town.
Goes to the town.
determine.
yeah, I think it does.
Okay,
I'll
and,
save my comments to the floor.
and we will, before we, when we put the warrant together, we'll take a vote on whether there's a recommendation from the board. Okay.
Okay.
Was there anything else on fire rescue? Oh, yes,
Yes,
the
there
next
was.
page. Thank you. So now, we have the, to improve emergency response, we've got option 1, option 2, option 3. Option 4 is status quo. Thoughts?
The way that the status quo, the way that it works now, there's a tone. If nobody responds, they wait 5 minutes, and then they issue a second tone, and that would be when mutual aid would come in.
If there's no response to the second tone, it's not supposed to go to a third tone without mutual aid being called.
Okay.
On
I'm
the
just
other-
I'm trying to figure out what the time gap is.
It's trying to equate it to time. It depends on the dispatcher, obviously, and how much other stuff they've got going on. But theoretically, there should be no more than a 7 to 8 minute delay in going to the next service, because they do the initial tone,
Mhm.
and then they give it 5 minutes, which there's one dispatcher, he's hard pressed to give it 3 minutes. So it depends a lot of it's related. He's
Yeah,
smiling,
no,
so he knows what I'm
absolutely.
talking about. So a lot depends on the dispatcher, but theoretically, if they play by the rules, it should be no more than a 7 to 8 minute delay before they get a hold of
Would-
mutual aid service to say, hey, that they're not coming up with anybody, we need you to start a response. there have been times we've actually told them that no, as you stop and think about it, in the middle of the night, I can attest to this, in the middle of the night, sound asleep, you get woken up, by the time you're heading out the door, you're probably at that second.
Well, I was
phone,
gonna
at
say,
that
it's 7 to
phone,
8
right?
minutes.
So-
Durham, land mass of Durham is pretty big, and so depending on where you're coming from, what you're doing when you get toned, I mean, there's all kinds
So
of.
it's not unusual for them, once they get to the second tone, for people to have actually signed on, instead of heading to the station. But the process is, until the apparatus go, they're gonna keep doing tones. So they can get to 3 tones. But they've usually based it on, well, no, I've got this one and this one that have signed on, so I don't need to convey it. They've usually asked, a lot of times they'll ask the person, do I need to start another service? I only have you signing on, should I start another service? So there is a fail-safe mechanism, but it does allow for a 7 to 8 minute delay in the process.
Will that change at all if anything ever happens over in Lisbon?
In regard to.
I mean, tone and speed wise, I guess, if they decide to get rid of that center over there, that, of course, that's the big question everybody's asking, I know that.
Ideally, I mean, the best way to have that change, ideally, in my own, would be regional dispatch centers, which was what they originally hoped when they put it together and stuff. And I'm not sure if it's gonna keep going or not keep going. But ideally, the best way to make that happen is in regional dispatch centers, because theoretically, if we're all in the same dispatch center, it's no longer a case of calling up this other community on their emergency line. For the example of Freeport, they have to call Brunswick Dispatch. So when they call Brunswick Dispatch, they have to call on an emergency line. And they can relay the 911 call to them, but they have to go through, so there's, even though it's 7 or 8 minutes from us, there's another minute or two there. Whereas if it was in the same dispatch center, even like the automatic aid, anything structural, there's a tanker and an engine toned out instantly from the next closest tanker, as well as a town, as well as another engine from the second closest town to that location. And it's automatic, however, it's only automatic to the point that if the dispatcher, if it's Lisbon, great, it's automatic, it's really truly automatic, because it should be simultaneous tones if the dispatcher knows how to do it. But if they don't, it requires a phone call, so it's not as automatic as it could be, so I don't know if it'll, I don't know if it'll ever.
You would have to have, even with regional, just by our geography and county, we would still be chances are Freeport and us would never be on the same dispatch.
Right.
No, and the sad part of that is we're in Androscoggin County, yet more of our mutual aid interaction, I mean, it's Lisbon and then Freeport and Pownell. There's very little with Auburn, there's very little with Brunswick. Brunswick's a little bit, but, yeah.
Freeport dispatches out of Brunswick. Where does Pownell dispatch out of? They dispatch out of
Yeah,
Brunswick
if we'd have
as well?
stuck with Freeport when we were doing the dispatching and stuff, would have been offered a contract, and they'd still talk to us. But when I was doing my research, if you remember, when I did the research on moving, you gotta see some serious cost savings to make it worthwhile moving into a different dispatch. You don't wanna do it just for cost, because you're not gonna see enough cost savings, no matter where you move to make it worthwhile.
Right, I just wondered if there was an advantage with, or if there was a difference with.
There is an advantage. They use actually more electronic stuff, and I'm not trying to trash Lisbon. They actually use IMC fully, so if apparatus are tied up and out of service, on the dispatcher's screen, it automatically brings up that, hey, all of these people are going. If you say I want a second alarm, it's sitting right on their screen, and the phone numbers are right in front of them, they don't have to look in a book or anything. Both Brunswick, LA 911, and state police over in Gray actually use that IMC system and use it that way.
No, I was actually, my question was way simpler than that.
It was way simpler.
Was-
Usually my answers are too in-depth or too, yeah.
Well, no, it was whether or not there's an advantage in terms of speed and coverage from a mutual aid standpoint of dispatching out of the same facility that most of your mutual aid comes out. So if most of
Yeah.
our mutual aid
Yeah,
is
it
coming
did.
out of Freeport and Pownell,
Well, no, probably, we do more mutual aid with Cumberland towns than, that should have been my statement. That's
Okay.
how I came across. We do more mutual aid with Cumberland County community
Mhm.
than we do Androscoggin. Because the
Okay.
only one we really interact with in Androscoggin, to speak of, is Lisbon. But we do fairly decent amount of, actually New Gloucester as well. It's not unusual for New Gloucester to be over or us to go over there, we usually for the tanker or something like that. So we probably use New Gloucester more than we actually use Auburn, because of the resource protection district in between. And
These options, all three of them are, somebody's at the station basically all hours of the day and night.
no,
So option one, what does that cover? Because it does have one on duty at a time, and it does have weekends.
yeah, option one, it basically, and, I know we had an in-depth conversation about it before and being able to see it, and I've actually started putting the paper together that kind of explains the process to this point, and there were actually 8 options that I seriously considered and stuff, looked at, I won't say I seriously considered, that's wrong, looked at. There's 2 higher options, but I thought because of, even though they're my ideal options, they were definitely cost prohibitive. And there's, below the option 4, which isn't here, leaving it as is, there's really 2 other lower options, the ones you asked about outsourcing and stuff like that. But outsourcing, one, services, you're gonna go way downhill in service, and really, as far as if you're looking for cost savings aren't there. If you look at what it costs us versus the revenues generated and stuff, in fact, you're gonna have to pay, there weren't cost savings. So I threw out 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom.
But no ambulance.
What's that?
We wouldn't need an ambulance if we outsourced.
You do what?
We wouldn't need an ambulance if we outsourced.
Yeah, well, it depends on what your vision of outsourcing is. If your vision of outsourcing is you don't do EMS at all, then yes, you're correct. But if your vision of outsourcing is that you go to first responder service and you still have people coming to the homes and doing EMS, then the answer is no. So the only way you get rid of the ambulance is if you don't do EMS at all. The Durham Fire and Rescue or Durham Fire doesn't get toned out at all if it's just rescue. If it's 10:55, yeah, we'll still go. We don't start cutting the car until the outside ambulance gets there, because we can't stop that process. And I guess going back in time, that's where we started from, and that's actually part of the reason we put it in place. We went first responder service initially, but then we looked at it and it's like, okay, we got first responder service. We're at a point where the revenue generated are gonna be 2 or 3 times what our actual increase in costs are gonna be. So if you go to first responder, it definitely is not financially, never mind service, financially, it makes no sense. If you do, go to no rescue, it depends on the cost of the outsourcing, because you're gonna lose, you don't have to do the rescue. Right now, the rescue really is almost, if you stop to think about it, 72,000, the cost that are probably in the budget. And then you take 240 to replace a rescue or thereabouts, so you take 12 years, 20,000 a year. That means
Plus whatever if we
it's
decide to do.
almost a wash, the cost. Yeah, that's without this. It's almost a wash right now. Never mind the detriment to service. Because I think most people, when they say, well, maybe we should outsource, what you have in your head is Durham Fire still responding and doing first response, and somebody else coming in and doing the transport. It'll actually cost you more money.
Part of my reason for asking that is because some of the times you've just thrown out,
Yeah.
maybe it's 5, 6, 7 minutes before you even get to your car to hit. That's a lot of time when you're thinking about what you're going to, if it's a heart attack or whatever it is, or somebody's bleeding to death or
Yes, it
whatever.
is.
Because it's not just the 6 or 7 minutes it took you to get the car started. Now, you could be 5, 6, 7 minutes away from wherever you're going, depending on where you're going in town.
And you're going to the station first.
Correct, so you're pushing an envelope of 20 minutes, I'm dead. Whereas, if there's a person at that building, sitting beside that
Yep.
ambulance, 20 feet away, they're on the road in what, under a minute?
No, because they're not going by themselves, so there's still gonna be more
The
people
only way you
coming.
can make it so that you're gonna get like 2 minutes out of the station, 3 minutes out of the
Too
station,
bad.
and even then, it's not gonna be as sweeping, you gotta do the two, which is one of the things I researched, but you might as well, easy numbers, figure 50 grand per person with benefits, so, you know, you're looking at $400,000 to staff with 2 people, 24/7. Ideally, I love that.
Me too, when you think about what could happen to you, but
I think my job is not to just look at ideas.
Let's get that life light up there, and we'll have that out behind your place still.
I'm supposed to look at what's in the best interest of the citizens of the town of Durham, but then I'm supposed to weigh the financial impact as well. So that's why that's not an option. But that's really, to do what you're saying, you need 2 people, 24/7. 24/7 with a 42-hour average work week, you have to have 4 people per rotation. For each position, you gotta have 4 people, so that's 8 people, so that's 400,000 plus.
so if you're only gonna have one person at the bar, they can't really roll until you have
The seven-
somebody else
Why-
get there.
The 7-minute guy
That's what it
coming in.
actually says, and what it relies on is during the days, which is our predominant difficult time, is during the day. But our predominant difficult time, it relies on utilizing the chief and the part-time help to take care of most of the gap there. And then in the evenings, filling it with a driver, but the driver would not be staffed at the station. They'd be coming from their house. So you're still at the mercy of the response time of the driver from the house.
So in reality, we could be paying and having this full-time coverage and still have situations where we have to rely on mutual aid or somewhere else because we don't have it staffed. There's only one guy there, there's only one guy available, and we don't have sufficient staff to go
I
out
guess
on a
your
call.
question is, in reality, we could, yes. In reality, you could.
We're still gonna have the 7-minute wait, because he's waiting for a guy to get there. I'm
Right, he's
sure he's
waiting
gonna
for a
wait
guy to get there
impatiently,
one way or
but
the
yeah,
other.
he's waiting.
None of these 3 options that I put down here have no holes in them. There isn't one of them that doesn't have a hole.
Fewer holes than you have today, but there's not, yeah.
Each one of them have fewer holes, at what I feel is a more palatable price than some of the ones that, because obviously like the 8 full-time people to create 2 full-time positions there, that, there's no holes there.
So,
Yeah, you
Once
couldn't
something
pay
goes
me to
belly
present
up-
that on town floor.
what was your thought on, how much was the stipend on these? What was, for, when somebody signs up for a night or a weekend or something,
Yep.
what was the stipend consideration?
What I utilized for figures was $25 for an evening stipend and $75 for a 24-hour weekend stipend. In other words, it'd be 24 hours.
They would sign on for 24 hours, okay.
And is that what you've been paying thus far with, I know you've gone to a stipend,
No,
You've
not
had some
actually.
here or
The-
per
the
diem?
stipend- The stipends, actually, we do hourly pay for anybody we can get to cover during the daytime.
Okay.
So it's kind of like per diem, but we don't do stipends. And any stipends I do have are actually for the deputies and stuff, but there's no coverage stipends.
okay.
And in all honesty, that's why I occasionally end up with holes in the coverage assignments. Unless I could double the amount of EMS, no, maybe not double, but add another 50% again of the EMS personnel to the department, then I might not have the hole. But people are willing to do some, but obviously. Actually, surprisingly enough, I had people sign up for Christmas Day, but New Year's Day, I had nobody sign up to cover New Year's Day. I mean, it tends to go, when you really have weekend things, they're gonna have weekend things that, no, and sometimes it lines up.
So they sign up
I
for
would imagine
coverage, they're
Super
not
Bowl
at the
Sunday
station.
is probably,
No, it's coverage from their house. I actually can't require them to stay at the, we can't require them to stay at the station. If we require them to stay at the station, we have to pay them.
If you had one of these options, you had one of these persons that was there for 12 hours, that person that they're waiting for, is that person allowed to meet them at the site? So would that save time?
Oh, yeah, it depends on the nature of the situation.
so the rescue
Whether-
could
roll?
leave the barn with just
It actually
one,
does periodically now.
with one person in it and the other person meet them on site.
Periodically now, if it's an emergency response and somebody signs direct, the driver or the EMS provider sometimes will actually take the rescue and head, because logistically it makes more sense for somebody to, coming from the other side of town, to drop off, rather than come to the station and go back to where they just came from. They'll actually drop off. The only downside is the driver can't drop off. It has to be a licensed provider that drops off. Otherwise, they can go, but they just gotta sit down the road.
So let's say that the person left the bar with the ambulance, and they got to the, on site, but the other person hasn't showed up yet. That person can't do nothing until that person shows up.
Depends on if he's a licensed
Only
provider.
people
Right?
that, only people that can do patient care, it has to be once I get a licensed provider on scene, we can utilize people that could do certain functions. It's under our license.
Right.
As a licensed provider, but we can utilize people to do certain functions.
What I was getting at is, the ambulance sitting in my driveway, but that person isn't getting out and doing anything because the other person hasn't showed up.
Right, as a
They
practice,
My wife's
they would
going
not-
crazy because
If
of
it was
that.
the driver, not the, it's
It
communication.
depends on
between the
who's
two.
licensed. If the
It would-
person's license is driving, then they could start something
Yeah.
about,
And
wait,
the communication between the two, I can guarantee you that you would not know they were close enough to be sitting in your driveway. Or actually, they'd be in visiting me. If they did go further than that, they would stage down the road. If the license was not on scene and they didn't have a license, they would stage down out of sight on the road. Because we would be, not just so you wouldn't see it, but we are in violation of state law if we respond with a licensed person and they drop off on scene first. Every once in a while, I'll get a new member that's allowed to go to the scene, and they'll start going to the scene, and I'll have to smack them and say, no, you can't go to the scene before we get licensed.
But if
personnel."
you, so say, hypothetically, you got this person that's sitting at the station, or it's a per diem person, or it's a, and they're licensed, and they get in the rescue, and they go on site, and they're the first person there, and they are licensed, but the second guy hasn't arrived yet, second person hasn't arrived yet. Do the driver?
They don't sit there. If they're licensed, they don't sit there.
If they, so I guess my question really would be is, are any of the drivers also licensed providers? And would they respond as a solo? Or I would imagine that's a violation of company policy
The
and,
drivers, for the most part, they're gonna, once in a while, a driver will say, hey, I'm coming from here.
Mhm.
If you want me to meet you on scene or something, but for the most part, it's the other way around. The licensed provider says, well, hey, I'm gonna drop off on scene, go ahead and respond with the
okay.
rest.
But generally the driver isn't the licensed provider.
Yeah, generally, the driver's going to the station,
Yep.
coming with the rig. They're not actually, unless they're directed to, the response guidelines
Yep.
don't allow them to go directly to
Okay.
the scene on their own.
guess I heard all I need to hear. Just have to decide what I want to do.
Right, and I think this is one that we don't necessarily have to decide today. I think we present this to the budget committee as well. And I'm not sure, but I'm almost thinking this should be a separate, if we put something out there, this should be a separate warrant article this year, and next year, if something like this passes, next year we roll it into the budget. But this year, where this is a considerable
Yeah.
change into the way that we're doing things, I think this should be a separate.
I agree.
um,
And that's what I was
Right.
thinking anyways, but.
I would actually hope it would be that way, because in all honesty, I don't know how the two, depending on what is selected,
Mhm.
if one of these is selected, I guess and part of the reason I presented it this way is I really don't know how the two are gonna entwine, I guess, would be a good way to phrase it and stuff, but, yeah, because there's gonna be many, actually, that's another piece of the 8 full-time people in the rotation, so you got 2 there all the time. They're not set up to take 2 full-time people at the station 24/7. I have a shower, but I don't have sleeping quarters. So I'd have to do
Got
something.
tables in there.
Yeah, well, I'd have to do something with the modular and move offices so that I could utilize existing smaller offices for sleeping quarters. So anything like that.
If you're only doing 2 12-hour shifts, you don't necessarily need the sleeping quarters.
What?
If you're only doing 12-hour shifts,
Right.
you don't need sleeping
Yeah.
quarters, but.
Yeah, when we start to get into the 24s, it means any relocation to the
Right.
modular for offices needs to be happening simultaneously or prior to. So that's another thing, in my opinion, that was detrimental to the recommendation of 24.
Okay. Anything else from anybody? Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
And-
but this, wait a minute.
Oh.
We didn't go over
salaries up here. You skipped over that.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
We're gonna probably do all the salaries all together,
Oh, okay.
because
All right.
the salary discussions often get into things that we need to be in executive session.
Okay. No, that's fine, I just,
And please keep us to this, so when we do make decisions on that, and if we do change things, we need to make sure we notify department heads.
Absolutely, right away, first thing,
yeah, I agree.
certified mail, the whole 9 yards.
Well, I don't know about that, but
I
yeah.
wanna make sure everybody's aware of it.
Singing telegrams.
Okay, shall we go to administrative and start working our
Yes. Where is that?
beginning?
Damn it.
Thank you, Chief.
Oh, there it is.
All right, so,
Make sure you book
again, we've got the personnel and the supports and benefits that we'll
Yep.
jump over. Insurances, these are both calculated out, I assume. Okay. Computers and networking, I think we need to discuss in this with the software, hardware, et cetera. We need to discuss support, as former Selectman Libby has suggested. And I don't know if you have some of his.
I do, but the support actually, I had.
different line, isn't
It went into telecommunications.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeffrey Layton and I spoke, and Jeffrey told me to put it in
The-
telecommunications, so
the
everything.
support. That doesn't include the purchase of the server?
It
or
does.
It does, okay.
So
Okay,
that's all in telecommunications.
So that's all, so we don't need to discuss that in this item, okay?
I don't know if this is the right spot to mention it, but I know that we're having issues with those computers up there steadily. They get worse and worse and worse. And I know we're gonna throw in that $10,000 or whatever that money was to hope they get approved. Between now and then, if things go down in here, what are we gonna do? We ain't gonna do anything by hand.
We're gonna have to call somebody.
Isn't there any money in any emergency fund or overlay or somewhere that we can take out and have that fixed now and not wait and then
So-
put it back afterwards?
So what's he talking about? Computers going down? This is, yeah.
We've been having a serious issue with Shannon's computer. When it starts up, if it's turned off and it starts up, it talks about how its startup process skipped something and it's corrupted, and do you want to check over the corruption? So you do the scan and it says it's okay, and it starts up and it works. But it's disconcerting.
Isn't Shannon's computer relatively new?
It's not Shannon's computer, it's the desk table.
It's the server and everything else, isn't it?
It's the
Maxed
counter.
out?
Computer.
counter
Shannon's
computer.
counter computer,
Okay.
not her computer, sorry. And the server issue is that it's slow.
And that's because it's probably maxed out.
I don't know if it's maxed out, but it's certainly not optimally, it's not a good server for what we use it for, and it's not optimally set up, I don't believe.
Because I understand it was down for an hour or two or something one day. I think I was in here the day after, whatever you guys mentioned, you had to do something by hand. My thought, my fear is, and I've heard this numerous times from in the office, off and on, that, you know, we're really running on a string and not a shoestring, more like a thread. And that's not good, especially since that office running properly is really where our revenue's coming from.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's what's making me nervous, especially when
This is the first time I heard about it, Ruth, so if this is your department needs help, you gotta yell.
Yeah,
I know Josh
I've
has
been
been.
talking about this for
Well,
months now.
Well,
Well, he's telling me this.
in very vague generalities, you know, you'd hear Josh throw out something and so on, but I mean, I wasn't aware of what was going, you know,
But here's the
Well, the computer just started a week or two ago.
okay.
Well, here's the question that I have. Understanding that we pay all the licensing fees, we have Trio, we're doing the server piece. An actual desktops right now are super cheap. I mean, we're talking about
It's
$200 or $300
at this
to
point,
put
it's
it.
a setup for it, because you purchase it, so we're gonna have to.
But we
pay.
have all the licenses for all the software. We're not going to
Right.
have to pay for,
No,
the
we,
various softwares
basically,
that we need.
we're gonna have to pay whatever, $500, $700, whatever it is for the desktop, and then $100 an hour for somebody to set it up, basically.
Well, I can actually set it up,
You can, okay.
for the most part. You know, downloading Trio and everything like that onto the computers, that's something I can do, and I can probably map the printers.
So why don't, I mean, number one, I see we have 1,500 in computer hardware, which is the computers.
Well,
You-
$500 laser.
$500 is for a new laser printer for the,
But if we've got a computer in there that's bad, we don't have to wait for this budget. Let's get a computer in there. The server being slow, we can deal with that
right.
and so on. But if we've got a computer that's being bad, we don't have to wait for anything. We can spend up to a certain amount of our budget.
Right.
And let's get it replaced if that's what needs to happen. We've
I
been,
don't know if that's what needs to happen, or if somebody needs to come in and do whatever it is that you do to computers to make them not do this. See, and there's
well,
the issue.
where is this on our replacement cycle?
I don't know when we got this one, to be honest. I wasn't here, so it's more than 3
Because-
years old.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is one of the ones that's near because we've replaced yours, we've replaced the 2 desk computers. I think
Replaced Donna's and
we've
Shannon's.
replaced Donna's and the one out here. So the two counter computers are probably next anyway.
They're
so,
probably the oldest, yes.
so rather than, I think if it's doing that, it's probably telling you it's time to go ahead and replace it. I mean, especially if your replacement is around $500 and you're paying $100 for somebody to come in and look at it,
Right.
an hour.
I hate to see that go down, then on a Friday afternoon, we gotta handwrite everything out, that customers ain't gonna be happy about that.
So, well, if that one goes down, you can still do can you do transactions
You
at your
could do
desk?
transactions out of Pam's desk and Shannon's desk, I
Yeah.
believe.
right,
so-
it's just not as convenient.
It's not as convenient, but you can do transactions at the desks, which would be a much better backup than writing it out.
Well, what about, is that part, see, I'm not really a techie guy, I'm a rocking chisel guy. So the server thing, or whatever this thing that's getting close to being maxed out, what is that all about?
So think of it like an octopus. So there's the body of the octopus, which is the server, and then there's all the computers, and the computers are all connected to the server through the octopus. And the server holds
I'm following it though.
the server holds most of the information that we access.
When does it shoot out ink?
Can you write it, can you draw this up on the board, please?
I could if you
No,
wanted
I mean,
to.
so we are actually, did you want to address it?
I'm just gonna come out and help Ruth if she wants. The best way.
You can draw the octopus if you want.
No. I've had it explained to other people or watched it be explained as it's your workspace in like a kitchen. You have your countertop and your cupboard space. The storage facility of a server is your cupboard space. Your RAM usage, which is how it can get overloaded, is how much counter space you have. So like you can only do so much stuff on your counter space, like you were talking about the papers on your desk. You need a bigger desk to spread them all out. Once you run out of that room, that's when you start to overload your computer, because it can no longer work in that confined space of like Jill's desk. And then the covered space is how it
Can I
stores
ask you a
stuff.
question, actually, Alden, though? So the server,
That was a good description.
that wasn't a good description, better than my octopus. But
I was following it.
But the
though.
RAM, is it more important to have enough RAM on the server or to have enough RAM on the individual computers that are connecting to the server?
Depends on what the computers are doing.
Okay.
Because when you think about it, is like each thing you have open on your computer. So like you have spreadsheets, so you have PowerPoint, Excel, and
Yeah.
Outlook all open.
Yep.
Those are Mark's 3 papers on his desk. If his desk can only hold those 3 papers in that area, that's the extent of what that computer can do at a time.
Okay.
Where the same thing goes on a server. So the server would be each computer connected to the server would be the equivalent of a document that you have open at a time. So like 4 documents on the desk opposed to 1 or 2.
So the idea now that my computer, Paul's computer, Donna's computer, both of the counter computers and Pam's computer and Shannon's computer are now all connected to the server, might be overloading the server because we have too many computers that are working
Well,
on the server.
So if you're working on stuff that's on the server, like Trio is on the server.
Yes.
So if like 4 of you are on Trio, which is on the server, that might be the extent of what the server is able to maintain or
Mhm.
keep up with, because it's processing what you're telling it and trying to process where it's connected to as well. So it's
Okay.
So, I mean, at this point, my thought is, the server it may not be optimal, but the server is working. We have the quotes for servers, and we can put that out in the budget, and then in April, hopefully get it passed, and then we can look at replacing the server. I think the computer, having the restart issues, and probably takes you 15, 20 minutes to get it going.
But we've stopped turning it off.
Yeah.
That was our solution.
But yeah, at some point you may have to though. But so I think the computer at this point is a higher priority and the easier. A server costs considerably more.
Right, I get that. And that's why I'm saying, if we're gonna put this money out there to fix this whole system, there is money somewhere that we could use to make this so that that doesn't go down. We walk in here, we got people pulling.
Well, we've got quotes for that. She's the telecommunications budget and so on. But it's for the server. I don't think the server is something that we have to do today.
Okay. I'll leave that up to you experts. But
I mean,
if the computer's bad, let's get one.
It's working. It may be painful at times. It may be a little slow, but it's working.
It is working, yes.
And the computer is actually really having issues.
Right.
So, and the computer we can do now because it's
It's a relatively low ticket item.
yeah, and
Well, there's a start.
Okay.
so, all right. So do you think the 1,500 is enough?
I think I'd rather go to 2,000 if we're gonna automatically, see, the $1,000 is kind of my emergency money in case something crashes on me. So if we could put another 500 in for the computer, I'd like that.
So, I see we didn't spend anything last year, which is unfortunate because we were trying to do at least one computer a year.
Well, I had changed over all the computers that I had wanted to change over.
Right,
Well,
but we hadn't apparently gotten to the
No.
counter ones. And I'm thinking, maybe it might make sense if we can bump that up to 2,000
Mhm.
and get one now. And if we still haven't expended it later in the year, replace the second one.
Okay.
And then we'll have done a full replacement and we can look at coming back around because really lifespan of computers is about 4 years and you really should be looking.
So that 1,500 would be to 2,000?
Yep.
Going the wrong way, but
You gotta do what you gotta do.
yeah.
Computers stuff is.
It is what it
Computer
is.
software, you're not planning on anything this year from what I see.
I'm not. I purchased my publisher, as you can see, and I'm happy.
Okay. Trio software, it went up this year?
It is what it is, yep.
Yeah, okay. Equipment lease, that's,
It is what it is.
And how many more years do we have left on that lease?
I believe it's 2019.
all right, publications. You're gonna get a question on this one.
Well, that was the code, we talked about this the last time, that was the code books
Okay.
that we had budgeted to purchase last year, but they didn't come out last year.
Yeah,
The new
okay.
code books weren't available, so
understand.
we still have to have them.
I apologize because I was not here when you first went
Right.
over it.
Oh, exactly, that's why I was stepping on Ruth's toes and
That's
answering that question.
So maybe I should go and say, is there anything that anybody has that they've identified as possibly changing?
Well, I don't know why I've got the maintenance, no, we got $200 question mark and total $500, and it's hooks up to generator maintenance.
Because I had 600, I thought we changed that to 600, I thought.
Oh, increased it?
Increased it to 600, I thought.
We increased it to 600, okay, sorry,
Okay, that's what we did.
okay.
That's what I got.
So we'll make
Going the
that
wrong way, I know.
600.
Oh, my note says increase to 300.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but
Well, if it's,
It's already at
it's
300.
already at 3, so if you increase it 3, 600, that makes sense.
I think we have it right.
Well, generator, it's a useless piece of equipment until you really need it. It just sits there doing nothing until you really need it. When you really need it, you really need it, especially in a place like this.
We've used it this year a couple times already.
We expended almost 600 last year, that's why we went up 600 this year.
Right, we had some issues last year.
The rest of that stuff, it used to be carbon concrete.
I don't have any notes. We
But
went
you
over
can
it.
do about some of that.
So, question under, I'm down to election. I just want to know, are we putting in for another set of
No.
new booths this year?
Nope, we're good for now.
Okay. And I know, I see that's gone down, which makes sense because it's an off year.
Yep.
Our legal expenses, do you think will be okay, knowing,
Well, we have $2,500 that's already gonna be spent. We spent last year's
67,
7,
and,
and the year before we spent 86. You know, unless something goes wrong, I mean, we could move it up to 10,000, but I wouldn't
uh,
go any higher than 10,000.
well, if you think we're, I mean,
I think 8.
if you think we're okay, and I kind of hope so, but.
I mean, unless we run into, the problem, to be honest, is if we run into such a big issue that we need a lot of legal expenses, I think we'd have to do a special town meeting anyways.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, what I was impressed by was that the total increase was less than 0.5%. I mean, it
Okay,
was a-
actually, just for my edification on,
Mhm.
let's see, the code enforcement salary, and what is the difference, and what is the difference in the request? Because that one is considerably more than any other, and I just kind of want to.
So what I put in there was the request, and the request was for $26 an hour,
Up from.
up from 22.
Now, does that, and I saw Paul today and I meant to ask this, does that include having him take on, does that envision that he would take on some of the planning piece? And
Well,
that's
he
really
has
what,
That's what he does
he
right
really
now.
has taken that on, and,
Yeah,
and,
yes. I think he's done all that.
and he, well, and I think he's done well above and beyond at codes. I mean, the work he's done with Runaround and the grants and,
I have no problem discussing all this, but I think we should go into executive session when we discuss all this.
Yeah.
No, I'm just asking for
I got
the,
plenty of paperwork at home.
oh,
on
no,
that.
I just wanted to make sure that
We're gonna discuss
it
this.
included.
I'm just asking for the information
Yeah.
as to what the request is.
That's what the request is.
Thank you. Okay. So are we good with the administration budget right now?
I am.
Okay.
Animal control, you
Animal
wanna go?
control, so we have,
Question on that too, on animal
Seen
control.
that.
Can we
Hold
get
on, do we want to look at
oh, the capital project.
capitals?
little projects,
Oh, this one's-
or do we not want to look?
No, I'm fine, let's look at that.
So obviously, there's a lot of issues with this building that need to be rectified. All of the money in this capital budget comes from reserves. So any of this money that's not spent would go back into reserves. With that in mind, we have had, we have a quote for the, a roof. So that's a pretty good figure. The renovation, Paul's been bringing to you guys different ideas for the renovations of this building possibly. And we've gotten the idea that you're looking towards the less renovations. So that's why there's the 20,000 there.
Yep.
The painting, we wouldn't paint till after the renovations was done because that would be not bright. So, there's $5,000 for painting. That would be including somebody purchasing to get somebody to come in and actually do the painting. I had always envisioned that we would paint ourselves, but, nobody else seems to like that idea. And
That doesn't happen. I mean, it,
There's never enough time.
no, there hasn't been, that's for sure. And then the heating system, we're having some issues with our heating system. It's mostly the cooling system and not the heating system, but the units are combined. So this heating system price is to install a few of the,
Heat pumps.
thank you, the heat pumps around the office to assist with that. Because we also have backup electrical heating if we really needed it. So that's what those figures are for.
okay. Just out of, well, we probably have that. What do we have in these accounts? It's probably up.
Well, the municipal building account would be completely spent down. But obviously, if we didn't spend it, we would put it back. And these are things, I mean, this building is from 1985, I think, 86,
Six, and I think it opened in 7, but yeah.
87. It needs renovations because we don't have enough office space for everybody that's here. It's gonna need a new roof sooner or later. If we don't do it this year, the money can go back in. The heating system,
Needs to be done.
needs to be done, and it really has never, well, I don't know when it was last painted, but it needs some work with that too. The town office reserve account, that one would have, hold on,
10,330.
town office reserves, that one has 37,000 in it, so if,
So that would be 27.
okay, thank you.
Okay, and
I got 10,348 on
That's how
mine.
much you'd be spending out of there.
out of the,
Oh, okay.
Yes, but I have 37,000 in the account.
so you think this is biting off more than you can do this year? I mean, should we, like the roof, if we're not seeing any issues right now, should we wait on the roof, or that's just, yeah.
Hey, everybody else gets a roof, why can't they get a roof?
Well,
School got one.
and is there,
Our town garage got one, why can't we get one here?
and is there a potential that, we may be able to get a contractor in that does the renovation and the roof all at once, and so then,
Fire station got paved, why can't we get a roof over here?
that we may get a better deal by making it a
Right.
single
And-
project?
I mean, I know that the roof is definitely coming due, because it was 30 years ago, and these probably weren't architectural shingles, so that's a
It's at the other
25-year.
end, it's at the end of its life.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
they
end of
are.
life,
And
yeah.
I'd rather deal with it before there's an issue then.
They are starting to show, I've looked at it a couple times, I'll look at it closer the next day or so, but they are starting to show.
That's- Yeah, it was just a question, and I know that we have the money on hand, that we can do this. Probably my suggestion is we do something like this year, but then starting next year, we start, because this will actually take care of a lot of the things that need to be done in the
Right.
building.
Yeah.
We start putting aside again, and start building those funds up again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do we, you said you had an estimate, so this price is pretty close. Do you have that estimate, so you know how many square that is? I'm just curious.
It should be in the back of your administration section.
It never gave a square.
Yeah, it doesn't, yeah.
It doesn't?
I never-
No,
Okay, well
I
then,
mean, we
no.
looked at it last time, Ian, like, it
Right.
never gave a square, just gave a price.
Okay, then no, I don't know what the square is.
The type.
Maybe we could ask, call and ask him
Yep, give
how
it.
many square it is, just, and I can tell you if we're in the right area or not. Do that, or I gotta measure it myself, and I got an idea, he already got the square.
Maybe.
Oh, if he measured it, he's got the squares.
Okay.
Because he couldn't figure it if he didn't.
I'm not even seeing that.
It's a
B,
yeah.
B something.
Handwritten?
No, well.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, one more pay, yep, that's the
Yeah,
back
it's
of it
kinda
right there.
handwritten. It's got a-
Okay,
it's a
thank you.
letterhead. Yeah, there you go.
I have a terrible head cold. Sniffling over here.
So, that's interesting, that there's no difference between
No, between the architectural and.
the architectural and standard, yeah.
Well, they're roughly about $2 or so bundle is so different now, than they used to be 12 to 15,
Right.
now they're not.
Really?
Because so many people doing architecturals, if they want the other ones, they get paid extra for it, which to me just makes no sense, because architecturals, they look better, they're much better.
Okay. So are we good with the request for the capital budget right now?
All set with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we're moving on to animal.
Animal control. So we have the request from the animal control officer for the increase in his salary, and this, I think everything else stayed the same from what we've
Yes,
seen.
everything else stayed the same.
Hey, Ruth, you said you added the dog license into it? Is that what you did?
Yeah, well, the late fees.
Just the late fees, so the license itself.
So the license itself is structured by state, and the way the state works is $3 of the money that comes in goes back to the state on a fixed dog. It's $6 for fixed dog.
Yeah.
$2 of it goes to the animal control officer, so
Right.
it goes to that line, and $1 of it goes to the clerk.
So $2 of that license fee is in part of,
Yes.
is in his budget and that, but then you put all the late fees, on
All
top
the
of that.
$25 late fees are in there as well.
Yep.
After you asked me to last year, I think there may have been a couple that got,
So we had originally,
The heck it is.
I just gave you this one today.
you know, we went this way because people were concerned that the 8,600 that we were being charged by Lisbon was too much money, and we could do it cheaper, and now, based on this proposal that we've received from our animal control officer, looking for a 100% increase in
Oh,
his
he's
stipend.
he's swinging hard. He's
It's,
he's looking at Brunswick, because he does a lot of work with those guys down there.
Absolutely.
And I've told him right to him, I said, well, that's because they got the tax base to pay it. You gotta understand what you're competing against. So, that's where I think where he's coming up with the price where he wants. But that ain't no way we're gonna, we'll go back to Lisbon before we did that. I mean, that's foolish.
And we upped it 500 from last year, right?
Yeah, my suggestion was 6,000.
Yeah,
That was
I
where
bumped him 1,000.
Yeah, I think that would be fair.
I mean, he's,
But,
and they're still under what we used to pay.
right, was it, Jeff said something about $75 a call, but I heard a number from.
So if you look, attached to the thing in the back, I went through, the
Well,
animal control
Yep.
was stapled to other stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So I went through his report, and that is a synopsis, if you see it. Okay,
Yep.
that's a synopsis of what he did last year according to his report.
All right.
So if you,
So it's that total incident 66, is that what we're doing?
total incidents is 66.
Yeah.
And those are instances, not calls, because there were, like, the dog by the bridge,
Yeah.
there was like a
Call,
series
yeah.
of several calls, so that was an instance. So there were 66 instances, 14 of them that were wildlife
The
were
warden,
referred
yeah.
to the warden.
Yeah.
So if you take that 66 minus 14, oops, that didn't,
52.
thank you. And then you take the 52, and, well, actually, you take
Divided into the 55.
5,500.
About $100 a call.
About $100 a call, yeah.
So on the second page, you got total complaints, 69, so those are just
No,
complaints he didn't
This
necessarily.
was in 2014
Yes.
when we were
That's-
using,
Oh, yes, okay.
That's
I see.
what's-
We're right on the same,
Yeah,
yes,
We're the same.
we're about the same, yes.
and if we bumped him up 1,000, where would he be a per call?
If we bumped him up 1,000 from last year, he'd be
Yeah.
up to 65.
65 a call. It's pretty decent.
Which would be roughly two.
And if we left him what he wants, where would he?
So
You mean
And-
the 11,000
Yeah,
divided
it would
by?
be double. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
Gonna be,
so it'd be almost $200 a call.
Yeah.
Bumping it up 1,000 would be roughly $20 extra a call.
Now, he has also requested that he would be charging extra if he had to go to court. I've always, every animal control officer I've ever known, it's been included in the stipend.
yeah, it's a
Right.
salary.
that's part of
Yep.
it.
Oh,
So
so I would say, if that's the case, then, and this includes his mileage too, right? What we've done this
Yes,
year.
that does include
Yes.
his mileage, which comes out, the $500 is about right for his mileage. Because his mileage last year was about 1,000, and it was about 54 cents a mile, so it was right around
So
$500.
6,000 covers the mileage, and it would still, and that extra 500 if he has to go to court, he has to pay out of that, and if not, well, he's got himself a $500 bonus. So to speak,
If you look at it
if we
that way.
bumped it up to 65, if that sounds fair. I'm just 1/5, 4th.
What's that make the total?
12,573.34, so it's down 169.66 from last year. But it's, well,
Because we cut out mileage and put it up,
right,
and also supplies we brought down quite a bit.
right.
So in 2016, we had budgeted 12,743. So in 17, we budgeted 12,573.
Yep.
I think the 65.
Arguments for that, really.
Right.
We expended 11, that could go up or down 5, 6 calls, so.
Right. I'm with you.
So, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with the numbers and so on, putting it out and so on. I think we're actually getting to the point that next year it might not be a bad idea to get a comparison for contracting it out again, just
Yep.
to see where we're at.
Keep apples to apple.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think it's a tough job that not everybody really wants to do, so it's a unique person that does it,
Yep.
Fortunately, I don't think there's as many of those types of people around as you'd like to have. but
Right, and obviously one of the
definitely
advantages of
anybody
when
around
we,
here.
when it was being done by Lisbon, it was a dispatched service. A call came and in theory there was then a response, as opposed to, as the current gentleman indicated at our last meeting, if he's in the middle of something, he's not coming. If it's not that, it's not his life, and he'll,
Well, I know one of those, I know my wife had called 2 or 3 times and she didn't get no response. And I mean, that doesn't how I weigh my decision, because that's one person out of the whole town. But
right,
I would kind of tend to agree. It would have been like us hired a code guy that was enforcing 3 or 4 towns. That's stretching a little thin.
So we're gonna go, I'm with Mark on this one. Did we get on the 65?
Yes, I'm fine with the 65.
So we're gonna change to 65.
Yeah.
Go from 11 to 65.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I do think it might be worth at least getting some sense of coverage in the event that he says, no, not a chance. I
mean-
asked for 11 and so that we have some idea of,
um,
because ultimately we do have to have someone.
right, and yes,
There are
definitely.
other options,
Okay,
I believe.
okay. Just kind of have at least a sense in the back of our minds of what those other options might be.
I gotta think that he probably.
If this is not well
realistically knows
received.
he's not getting that, but
So,
maybe not.
that's what I expect all the department heads to do. I expect them to come in here and swing hard. I expect the chief to, I expect Kelvin to, I expect them all
I'm
to.
just saying,
If
it's
they
good to have a
don't,
plan B in
I think
case.
they're crazy.
I did.
I mean,
That's right, yeah, I expect it all.
Yeah, I do expect it, but the good thing I've noticed is, with the exception of a couple things, and those maybe not necessarily out of the realm, if you look at the last 2 or 3 years, or 3 or 4 years, we aren't really out there stretching it that much.
Nope.
In my opinion, so.
All right,
Unfortunately, a lot of things have changed, so.
Go ahead.
assessing?
Assess it.
Assess-
That's a
Nothing.
contract, isn't that?
Yeah, that's mostly contracted.
Cemeteries,
Cemeteries,
I didn't really have no issue there.
looks good. Conservation,
Hold on, wait for everybody else.
conservation is pretty much
The same.
donations,
donations to talk
Donations.
about. Let's talk.
I gotta put the binders on this one. Everybody wants them, I know that, I do. I've got to put my paperwork in.
These are the ones we have been funding over the course
These
of
are the
the
ones
year.
that
No, so
That we do.
if you look under the INC/DCR column, though, that's the changes, basically, like seniors, is it Seniors Plus?
Yeah, seniors plus.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah, Seniors Plus is
More.
asking for an extra 327 from what we gave them last year.
Yeah.
Tri-County, we didn't give them any, and they're asking for 500. Health Equity Alliance is asking for 500. Oasis Free Clinic is asking for 700. And any other numbers in there are what we already did last year. And so
I think
there are,
those are the ones we've done traditionally, I think.
for the most part, so we've done, we'd done Tri-County back in 2014 was the last year we did it. So we've gone 2 years without doing anything for Tri-County. Red Cross, we stopped in 2014 as well. They did not have a request in this year. But yes, most of the other ones have, so LACO, Androscoggin, Home Health Care, Community Concepts, and Seniors Plus and Western. So Western Main Transportation is new in 2015, and Life Flight was new in 2015. So we took 2 out and put 2 in. You have some of the requests in here. A number of them actually will say what they've done for people in the town. And other than that,
I think we let the townspeople decide which ones they want to
I
give to
mean,
us.
and there's 2 schools of thought. We tend to go with we've always done this town, or we've always done this group, but we do get a lot of requests from groups that do a lot of things for people in the town. And so the other theory is that we just rotate them through, and some years it's this group's here, and some year it's that group's here.
yeah, I mean, to be honest, so like some of them I think are very, very well worth what they like LACO,
Wow.
and because
And
the
community
number of
concepts.
people in the community they help. Life Flight,
That's what I was just gonna say. Life,
I mean, Life Flight does help some, and I know it's expensive to run, but some of these others might have a bigger impact. So,
And Health Equity Alliance or Oasis Free Clinic, I think, is new this year. That
in
is
the
a
request, yeah,
yep. That's a free medical
There ain't nothing
services.
free.
yes. So what? Yeah.
Nothing's free. It might say
So
much
both are both Health Equity Alliance and Oasis Free Clinics kind of on the medical
Nothing's
side
free.
of things.
Yeah, they're free walk-in clinics for low income or people without health insurance or.
It costs somebody something. Nothing's free.
So like Oasis mentions that they served 8 patients from Durham in 2016.
where are they even located?
Lewiston?
Brunswick, Baraboo Drive, Brunswick. Health Equity doesn't actually give anything on what they've done for service for residents in the town that I can see.
So do you want to make a recommendation, or do you want to just say the selectmen support funding 5 or 6 of these and let the townspeople choose, or how do you want
I
to?
have it becomes
It's a long
circus.
process.
if we say which
Right.
one. I think it's better off that we say this is what we're recommending, and these are the
People that have asked.
these are the ones that we're recommending that we give to, and they have at times said we're going to cut out $500 because we don't want to support this particular
Right.
one.
And the budget committee has in many years taken the position that it should be, if people want to give money to these groups, that's their choice to do. And
I think
I agree with that.
I think we should still hold the line at 3,000 again this year.
Yep.
I am open to suggestions for switching some around if that's a desire.
Life Flight to Oasis, I would say.
Take Lifelight out.
And I would support continuing Community Concepts. I think that they do a tremendous amount of.
Yeah.
I do. That's who we send people to.
So I would
Work.
agree with that one. Take out Life Flight and do Oasis because
Give them 500 to Oasis, you know.
yeah. So Life Flight is gone and 500 to Oasis.
5.
And whoops, I crossed the wrong one. That's Western Maine. Life Flight. Personally,
And keep Western Maine and Seniors Plus.
Seniors Plus at 500 though still, I think.
Yeah.
500, not 827.
Yep.
500. So,
So we have 1,000 too much now.
yeah, so we have, Tri-County is asking for 500, which we haven't done. I'm not sure. Is there one that we'd want to swap out for that? I think Androscoggin Home Care and Hospice is I've been up there before, that's an excellent place and provides a really good service. Community Concepts, I'm not as familiar with.
That's where we send everybody who needs help.
Okay.
Yeah, they do a tremendous amount.
They do all of our KB cap stuff too, not KB, Hendricks.
Community Concepts,
And,
so you're saying keep that one?
Yes.
I would keep that one.
I'd keep all of them.
I would strike the health equity, which we haven't done yet, and the Tri-County. I just don't see that we should increase it this year.
Yep.
Tri-County would be the next on my list, I think, but.
I agree.
Okay, so which ones we got?
We changed the 827 to 500. We took away Lifeline and added Oasis, and we crossed out Home Alliance,
Yeah.
Health and Equality Alliance.
So
Okay, yeah.
we are suggesting to do LACO, Androscoggin Home Health Care and Hospice, Community Concepts, Senior Plus, Western Maine Transportation, and Life Flight. Was
And
there?
Oasis.
I'm sorry.
Oasis.
I mean Oasis, not Life Flight. Was there one from Western Maine Transportation? I just wanted to.
I don't believe they've gotten it to me. I've talked to them, they've called me, but they hadn't actually gotten me one yet.
That might be the only other one I'd be looking. If we wanted to bring in another one, maybe them. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that they do service people in the community. I just don't know what their numbers look like.
So for now, I'm good with this. And however, if Western Maine doesn't get their request in before we finalize, I might be interested in relooking.
Eureka Center?
Is there?
Yep.
I can't see no increase there anywhere.
No,
No, as a matter of fact, there was a decrease.
decrease in both. So. And what was no issues with that one, I don't think, for me.
General assistance, right?
General assistance is next, and that's just,
It is what it is.
yeah,
Park and Recreation?
Parks and Recreation. Let's see what the,
And I did get an email from Hunter today asking for $300, but I think that we can probably just fit that in to the War Memorial Park projects. I mean, the project, so the flag upkeep, maintenance and projects this year, I had put 5340 in that, and most of that is rolling over about $5,000 from last year into this, with the thought that most of that money will be used towards fixing the gazebo.
and probably, we're gonna have to, looking at the flagpole and whatever needs to be done with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked at the last people recommending those commissions. That just pulled on.
So any suggestions on, or thoughts on this? Actually, how is our recreation fee, our recreation thing, account looking? Because I know we needed to keep an eye on that because we were using more than.
Right. So what I did this year, there's the state park fee, runaround fee, and the recreation fund. So we took in the state park fees, we took in 3233, recreation fund, we took in the 7233. And then you have the option of taking unspent appropriations and putting it back into the fund. And because we didn't get to do the gazebo last year, I took the 5,500 that was left over and put it back into recreation fund.
Yeah.
So we have plenty of money.
Okay, yeah, we're actually, we're with what was returned, we're using less than what went in, so. appropriation received, so, have the state park fees, run around pond, have they gone down or something?
It's a percentage of what the state takes in, so you're kind of at the mercy of whatever the
Yep.
state sends you.
Planning board and appeals. So there's comprehensive plan, okay, so the ordinance review, they brought down to 500, and they've put in for the comprehensive plan, so the total increase right now is 2,600.
Yep.
Yeah, so the ordinance review plan has no, they have no plans to hire anybody this year.
Yeah.
The $500 is for public hearings.
Okay.
There is one tomorrow night, right?
There's
What's the visioning for the comprehensive plan?
comprehensive plan committee.
And that is part of the budget too.
And that, but yeah, I mean, it should be it's not a public hearing, but it's definitely important that
Public
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
at the school?
public
Yes,
Yes.
it's at the school in the cafeteria at 6:30.
I'm hoping to be there.
Me too.
Any changes? I mean, I think,
No, I think that's be what it is.
yeah, the comprehensive plan, and this is still, I mean, I think next year will be the big hit for that probably, because
No, I don't
No?
think so. I think that this is really kind of a cost that ends up being spread over time.
okay.
So although, we had talked about a $20,000, $30,000 figure, I think it's like not in 1 year.
Right, well, I thought where we're trying to get this done next year, and so.
It's not gonna be done by next year.
Okay,
It just isn't.
okay. Public Works, we've already looked at.
Solid waste.
Solid waste.
So I suspect that you should all have updated ones that include the 2018, 19, and 20 budget,
Mhm.
so that you can see where those are. And then there's another sheet that compares Tice Waste to
Yep.
Pine Tree and what the budget increases will be, what the difference in the budget increases will
Let
be.
the town decide.
Yeah, and I think that's, well, I think we put out both contracts, on something like this, the money, it is a significant amount, a less amount of money, but, I don't feel comfortable recommending that without knowing. I think the town needs to make that decision, whether they're willing to take the risk.
And I think that there are still, at least in my mind, and I'm sure someone will correct me. I feel like there were still some unanswered questions about Tice as to whether or not it was going to be single sort recycling, whether or not it was going to be sort of the same level of convenience that people have gotten used to.
Can we get, because we actually did ask for something, I don't know if you can contact them, basically a list of what would be allowable, and also to clarify that it would be, at our end anyway, single
Right.
source.
Yeah,
what-
that it's
I
that
mean,
single stream and.
If they have to stop their truck and sort it before they drive into the facility, I guess I don't care. But,
I think it was just single sort. It was
Yeah.
just whatever's on those, you're gonna pick up. what's in the drive.
but we do need to understand what types are allowable to make sure that we,
Well, I believe that the bid sheet specifies single sort, but I will
Yeah.
read it
But
over
I thought
and
there
I
was
will
some
get in touch with
discussion, and maybe that was
That was-
yeah.
Pine Tree
That-
pushing back, or there was some discussion about
Yeah.
going back to having to take labels off and clean.
and that's, I
Stuff.
think that's the biggest thing I'm concerned is, we've specified single sort in anything. So as long as we can put it out in one, but I want to make sure we're getting a comparable, that we can still put the same types of items out there, and if not, if not, what are the restrictions or what additional things can we put out?
Tires, I don't.
Yeah, that's recyclable. Okay. So, are we done
We're
with,
gonna have to make a recommendation, what we think.
huh?
I think we're gonna have to make a recommendation.
Yeah, and I think that can, unless you want to make the recommendation before we meet the budget committee.
No, I think after we meet the budget, yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine then, but I
Yeah.
think we'll have to make.
Yes, we need to make, I think we put both out, but I think we
Oh,
need to
yeah.
put our name on one or the other, and,
I agree.
telecommunications?
Telecommunications.
And is this include, does this, what here, is that include the, stuff that Josh got the quotes on, or is
So
that?
the bottom line should be 53,221,
Yes,
and that does include, yes.
okay.
Awesome.
What did we bring in last year for franchise fees?
We brought in 40-something thousand. Hold on, let me bring that up.
Was it 41 and change?
41,615. We didn't spend 11,000, so we still have 92,000 in that line.
Okay, so I'm just, I know some of line 30, that 10,220 line is a single, for a one-time buy. The server is a one-time buy. I don't remember how much that one was, but is it in the back here?
It should be in there, but
The server, with everything included, it was 57, so 5,700 of that is a one-time. I'm just thinking that we don't want to be continuously using more than we can bring in, so.
Right, well, and some of the website expense, part of that is a
Oh,
one-time.
that's right, that's on there too, yeah. So, yeah, okay.
yes.
And that's something we should be prepared to talk about with the budget committee, because they're gonna see that big jump. And
And the thing is, we've already
Contracted.
contracted in on that, but
Yes.
we'll tell them that, and we'll talk to them about it, and really, the website does need an.
Yeah, so the 6,250 includes the $3,000, it's just the second payment. The 1,750, which is the web hosting, and the 1,500 in case we need that much in order to get the fire department into ours.
So in that case, I'm okay with this one, because I think there's pretty close to $10,000 that are one-time expenses, and that we can get this down. And, good. What's the meetings tech line? Just,
All of them.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what I wondered,
Yeah.
okay.
I put him in his own separate line.
Okay. Anything else we need to look at tonight?
Before you guys go, just for ha-has, this is what the estimation is of our county budget.
that's a rather healthy increase from the county,
What was, do you
almost
remember-
8%.
do you remember what the actual percentage increase of the budget was? Because I,
I haven't gotten the figures yet. This is
okay.
from emails with
Is that in this too?
it's not, because it's not a part of the budget.
Yeah, I would like maybe down, separate from down there, the county.
Yep.
And how the county will impact, how much increase, because it does all go into.
No, fine, yeah, absolutely.
So we should meet again sometime Wednesday or Thursday, and we can do all the salaries. We can meet in executive session. Hopefully we can get whatever it was we were asking information from Calvin by then. The curtains, yeah. And so that we can.
What day would you like to
Solidify. Personally, Thursday works best, but I don't.
I was gonna say Thursday was better for me.
Okay, Thursday, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. How's
Sarah?
that work for you, Sarah?
That's probably fine. It is what it is. I will rearrange whatever.
There we go. Thursday, 6 then.
Okay.
Thursday at 6.
I'll forget. I'll forget.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I'd be confused for a second. So that,
All right.
There's a Historic District Commission meeting on Thursday. Sorry.
Here?
supposed to be here, yeah.
Can, what time do they usually meet?
6:30, I think.
Can we-
Can you check, see if they can?
Well, you know, if we're gonna do an executive session, we will, yeah,
We
we
could
go
meet
to
over
the
there,
region.
because we're not gonna be on camera anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll have one or two items in open, and which you could make a.
Do as a minute.
Eureka
quick
Center,
note.
6 o'clock?
Yeah, we can do Eureka Center, 6
Okay.
o'clock, sounds
Okay,
good.
sounds
Yep,
good.
yep.
All right, thank you all.
Motion.
Motion adjourned.
Second. All in favor, Steve?